Alright, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back to Movie Readings. YouTube analytics have shown me that over 95% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to my channel. So if you want to subscribe, please do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Please enjoy Pulp Fiction. It's one of my favorite movies that I've done so far on the channel, and if you'd like to hear a specific movie read, please leave a comment down below. Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avary. Pulp. Noun. A soft, moist, shapeless mass or matter. Or, a magazine or book containing lurid subject matter and being characteristically printed on rough, unfinished paper. American Heritage Dictionary, New College Edition. We find ourselves in the interior of a coffee shop in the morning. A normal Denny's, Spires-like coffee shop in Los Angeles. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. When the place isn't jammed, there's a healthy number of people drinking coffee, munching on bacon, and eating eggs. Two of these people are a young man and a young woman. The young man has a slight working-class English accent, and like his fellow countrymen, smokes cigarettes like they're going out of style. It is impossible to tell where the young woman is from or how old she is. Everything she does contradicts something she did. The boy and the girl sit in a booth. Their dialogue is to be said in a rapid pace, his girl Friday fashion. No, forget it. It's too risky. I'm through doing that shit. You always say the same thing every time. Never again. I'm through. Too dangerous. I know that's what I say. I'm always right, too. But you forget about it in a day or two. Yeah, well, the days of me forgetting are over, and the days of me remembering have just begun. When you go on like this, you know what you sound like? I sound like a sensible fucking man is what I sound like. You sound like a duck. Quack, 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 quack. Well, take heart, because you're never going to have to hear it again. Because since I'm never going to do it again, you're going to never have to hear me quack about how I'm never going to do it again. After tonight. The boy and the girl laugh, their laughter putting a pause in their back and forth. With a smile. Correct. I've got all tonight to quack. A waitress comes by with a pot of coffee. Can I get anybody any more coffee? Oh, yes, thank you. The waitress pours the young woman's coffee. The young man lights up another cigarette. I'm doing fine. The waitress leaves. The young man takes a drag of his smoke. The young woman pours a ton of cream and sugar into her coffee. The young man goes right back into it. I mean, the way it is now, you're taking the same fucking risk when you rob a bank. You take more of a risk. Banks are easier. Federal banks aren't supposed to stop you anyway during a robbery. They're insured. Why do they care? You don't even need a gun in the federal bank. I heard about this guy. Walked into a federal bank with a portable phone, handed the phone to the teller. The guy on the other end of the phone said, "We got this guy's little girl. If you don't give him all your money, we're gonna kill her." Did it work? Fucking A, it worked. That's what I'm talking about. Knucklehead walks into a bank with a telephone, not a pistol, not a shotgun, but a fucking phone. Cleans the place out, and they don't lift a fucking finger. Did they hurt the little girl? I don't know. It probably never was a little girl. The point of the story isn't a little girl. The point of the story is they robbed the bank with a telephone. You want to rob banks? I'm not saying I want to rob banks. I'm just illustrating that if we did, it'd be easier than what we're doing. So, you don't want to be a bank robber? No, all these guys are going down the same road, either dead or serving 20. So no more liquor stores. What have we been talking about? Yeah, no more liquor stores. Besides, it ain't the giggle it used to be. Too many foreigners own liquor stores, Vietnamese, Koreans. They can't fucking speak English. You tell them, empty out the register. They don't know what it fucking means. They take it too personal. We keep on, one of these gook motherfuckers gonna make us kill them. I'm not gonna kill anybody. I don't want to kill anybody either, but they probably put us in a situation where it's us or them, and if it's not the gooks, it's these old Jews who've owned the store for 15 fucking generations. You got Grandpa Irving sitting behind the counter with a fucking Magnum. Try walking in one of those stores with nothing but a telephone, see how far it gets you. Fuck it. Forget it. We're out of it. Well, what else is there? Day jobs? Ha! Not this life. Well, what then? He calls to the waitress. Garçon, coffee. Then looks to his girl. This place. The waitress comes by, pouring him some more. The snotty waitress. Garçon means boy. She splits. Here? It's a coffee shop. What's wrong with that? People never rob restaurants. Why not? Bars, liquor stores, gas stations. You get your head blown off sticking up one of them. Restaurants, on the other hand, you catch with their pants down. They're not expecting to get robbed, or not as expecting. Taking to the idea. I bet in places like this, you could cut down on the hero factor. Correct. Just like banks, these places are insured. The managers don't give a fuck. They're just trying to get you out the door before you start plugging diners. Waitresses, forget it. They ain't taking a bullet for the register. Busboys, some wetback getting paid $1.50 an hour. Gonna really give a fuck you're stealing from the owner? Customers are sitting there with food in their mouths. They don't know what's going on. 1 minute they're having a Denver omelette. Next minute someone's sticking a gun to their face. The young woman visibly takes in the idea. The young man continues in a low voice. See, I got the idea the last liquor store we stuck up. Remember all those customers kept coming in? Yeah. And then you got the idea to take everyone's wallet. Uh-huh. That was a good idea. Thanks. We made more from the wallets than we did from the register. Yes, we did. A lot of people go to restaurants. A lot of wallets. Pretty smart, huh? The young woman scans the restaurant with this new information. She sees all the patrons eating, lost in conversations. The tired waitress taking orders. The busboy going through the motions, collecting dishes. The manager complaining to the cook about something. A smile breaks out on the young woman's face. Pretty smart. I'm ready. Let's go. Right here, right now. Remember, same as before. Your crowd control, I handle the employees. Got it. They take out their .32 caliber pistols and lay them on the table. He looks at her, she back at him. I love you, Pumpkin. I love you, Honey Bunny. And with that, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny grab their weapons, stand up, and rob the restaurant. Pumpkin's robbery persona is that of the in-control professional. Honey Bunny's is that of the psychopathic, hair-triggered loose cannon. Yelling to all, Everybody be cool, this is a robbery! Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every one of you motherfuckers, got that? Credit sequence. Pulp Fiction. An old gas-guzzling, dirty white 1974 Chevy Nova barrels down a homeless-ridden street in Hollywood. In the front seat are two young fellas, one white, one black, both wearing cheap black suits with thin black ties under long green dusters. Their names are Vincent Vega, white, and Jules Winfield, black. Jules is behind the wheel. Okay now, tell me about the hash bars. What do you want to know? Well, hash is legal there, right? Yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you can't walk into a restaurant, roll a joint, and start puffing away. You're only supposed to smoke in your home or certain designated places. Those are the hash bars. Yeah, it breaks down like this. It's legal to buy it, it's legal to own it, and if you're a proprietor of a hash bar, it's legal to sell it. It's legal to carry it, which doesn't really matter because, get a load of this. If the cops stop you, it's illegal for them to search you. Searching you is a right that the cops in Amsterdam don't have. That did it, man. I'm fucking going. That's all there is to it. You'll dig it the most. But you know what the funniest thing about Europe is? What? It's the little differences. A lot of the same shit we got here, they got there. But there, they're a little different. Examples? Well, in Amsterdam, you can buy a beer in a movie theater. And I don't mean in a paper cup either. They give you a glass of beer, like in a bar. And in Paris, you can buy a beer at McDonald's. Also, you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese. No. They got the metric system there. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is. What do they call it? Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. What do they call a Big Mac? Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac. Le Big Mac. What do they call a Whopper? See, I don't know. I didn't go into a Burger King. But do you know what they put on their French fries in Holland instead of ketchup? What? Mayonnaise. God damn. I seen them do it. And I don't mean a little bit on the side of the plate. They fucking drown them in it. Ugh. The trunk of the Chevy opens up. Jules and Vincent reach inside, taking out two .45 automatics, loading and cocking them. We should have shotguns for this kind of deal. How many up there? 3 or 4. Counting our guy? I'm not sure. So there could be 5 guys up there. It's possible. We should have fucking shotguns. They closed the trunk. Vincent and Jules, their long matching overcoats practically dragging on the ground, walk through the courtyard of what looks like a hacienda-style Hollywood apartment building. We track alongside. What's her name? Mia. How did Marcellus and her meet? I don't know. However people meet people. She must have been an actress. She ever do anything I would have saw? I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot. What's a pilot? Well, you know the shows on TV? I don't watch TV. Yes, but you're aware that there's an invention called the television, and on that invention they show shows? Yeah? Well, the way they pick up shows on TV is they make one show, and that show's called a pilot. And they show that one show to the people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing. She starred in one of the ones that became nothing. They enter the apartment building. Vincent and Jules walk through the reception area and wait for the elevator. You remember Antoine Rockamora, half black, half Samoan? Used to call him Tony Rocky Horror. Yeah, maybe. Fat, right? I wouldn't go so far as to call the brother fat. He's got a weight problem. What's the nigga gonna do? He's Samoan. Yeah, I think I know who you mean. What about him? Well, Marcellus fucked his ass up good. And word around the campfire, it was on account of Marcellus Wallace's wife. The elevator arrives and the men step inside. What did he do, fucker? No, nothing that bad. Well, what then? He gave her a foot massage. A foot massage? Jules nods his head. Yes. That's all? Jules nods his head. Yes. What did Marcellus do? Sent a couple guys over to his place. They took him out on the patio of his apartment and threw his ass over the balcony. Nigga fell 4 stories. They had this garden at the bottom enclosed in glass like one of them greenhouses. Nigga fell right through that. Since then, he's kind of developed a speech impediment. The elevator doors open. Jules and Vincent exit. That's a damn shame. Steadicam in front of Jules and Vincent as they make a beeline down the hall. Still, I have to say, play with matches, you get burned. What do you mean? You don't be giving Marcellus Wallace's new bride a foot massage. You don't think he overreacted? Antoine probably didn't expect Marcellus to react like he did, but he had to expect a reaction. It was a foot massage. A foot massage is nothing. I give my mother a foot massage. It's laying hands on Marcellus Wallace's new wife in a familiar way. Is it as bad as eating her out? No, but you're in the same fucking ballpark. Jules stops Vincent. Whoa, stop right there. Eating a bitch out and giving a bitch a foot massage ain't even the same fucking thing. Not the same thing, but the same ballpark. And ain't no ballpark either. Look, maybe your method of massage differs from mine, but touching his lady's feet and sticking your tongue in the holiest of holies Ain't the same ballpark. Ain't the same league. Ain't even the same fucking sport. Foot massages don't mean shit. Have you ever gotten a foot massage? Don't be telling me about foot massages. I'm the foot fucking master. You giving a lot of them? Shit, yeah. I got my technique down, man. I don't tickle or nothing. Have you ever given a guy a foot massage? Jules looks at him a long moment. He's been set up. Fuck you. He starts walking down the hall. Vincent, smiling, walks a little bit behind. How many? Fuck you. Would you give me a foot massage? I'm kind of tired. Man, you best back off. I'm getting pissed. This is the door. The two men stand in front of the door numbered 49. They whisper. What time is it? 7:22 in the morning, checking his watch. It ain't quite time. Let's hang back. They move a little away from the door, facing each other, still whispering. Look, just because I wouldn't give a man a foot massage don't make it right. Marcellus to throw Antoine off a building into a glass motherfucking house, fucking up the way the nigga talk. That ain't right, man. Motherfucker do that to me, he better paralyze my ass, 'cause I'd kill a motherfucker. I'm not saying he was right, but you're saying a foot massage don't mean nothing, and I'm saying it does. I've given a million ladies a million foot massages, and they all meant something. We act like they don't, but they do. That's what's so fucking cool about them. This sensual thing going on nobody's talking about, but you know it, and she knows it. Fucking Marcellus knew it, and Antoine should have fucking knew better. That's his fucking wife, man. He ain't gonna have a sense of humor about that shit. That's an interesting point. Alright, let's get into character. What's her name again? Mia. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife? Well, Marcellus is leaving for Florida, and when he's gone, he wants me to take care of Mia. Take care of her? Making a gun out of his finger and placing it to his head. Not that. Take her out. Show her a good time. Don't let her get lonely. You're gonna be taking Mia Wallace out on a date? It ain't a date. It's like when you and your buddy's wife go to a movie or something. It's just good company. Jules just looks at him. It's not a date. Jules just looks at him. 3 young guys, obviously in over their heads, sit at a table with hamburgers, french fries, and soda pops laid out. One of them flips a loud bolt on the door, opening it to reveal Jules and Vincent in the hallway. Hey, kids! The 2 men stroll inside. The 3 young caught-off-guard guys are Marvin, a young black man who opened the door, Will, as the scene progresses, back into the corner, Roger, a young blonde-haired surfer kid with a flock of seagulls haircut, who has yet to say a word, sits at a table with a big sloppy hamburger in his hand. Brett, a white preppy-looking sort with a blow-dry haircut. Vincent and Jules take in the place, with their hands in their pockets. Jules is the one who does the talking. How you boys doing? No answer. Am I tripping, or did I just ask you a question? We're doing okay. As Jules and Brett talk, Vincent moves behind the young guys. Do you know who we are? Brett shakes his head no. We're associates of your business partner, Marcellus Wallace. You remember your business partner, don't you? No answer. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess here. You're Brett, right? I'm Brett. I thought so. Well, you remember your business partner, Marcellus Wallace, don't you, Brett? I remember him. Good for you. Looks like me and Vincent caught you at breakfast. Sorry about that. What you eating? Hamburgers. Hamburgers? The cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast. What kind of hamburgers? Cheeseburgers. No, I mean, where'd you get them? McDonald's? Wendy's? Jack in the Box? Where? Big Kahuna Burger. Big Kahuna Burger? That's that Hawaiian burger joint. I heard they got some tasty burgers. I ain't never had one myself. How are they? They're good. Mind if I try one of yours? No. Yours is this one, right? Yeah. Jules grabs the burger and takes a bite of it. That's a tasty burger. To Vincent. Vince, you ever try a Big Kahuna Burger? No. Jules holds out the Big Kahuna. You want a bite? They're real good. I ain't hungry. Well, if you like hamburgers, give 'em a try sometime. Me, I can't usually eat 'em 'cause my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which more or less makes me a vegetarian. But I sure love the taste of a good burger. You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? No? Tell 'em, Vincent. Royale with cheese. Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that? Because of the metric system? Check out the big brain on Brett. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right. The metric system. He points to a fast food drink cup. What's in this? Sprite. Sprite. Good. Mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down with? Sure. Jules grabs the cup and takes a sip. Hits the spot. You, flock of seagulls, you know what you're here for? Roger nods his head, yes. Why don't you tell my boys here, Vince, where you got that shit hid? It's under the... I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. You were saying? It's under the bed. Vincent moves to the bed, reaches underneath it, pulling out a black snap briefcase. Got it. Vincent flips the two locks, opening the case. We can't see what's inside, but a small glow emits from the case. Vincent just stares at it, transfixed. We happy? No answer from the transfixed Vincent. Vincent! Vincent looks up at Jules. We happy? Closing the case. We're happy. What's your name? I got his name's Vincent, but what's yours? My name's Pitt, and you ain't talking your ass out of this shit. I just want you to know how sorry we are about how fucked up things got between us and Mr. Wallace. When we entered into this thing, we only had the best intentions. As Brett talks, Jules takes out his gun and shoots Roger 3 times in the chest, blowing him out of his chair. Vince smiles to himself. Jules has got style. Brett has just shit his pants. He's not crying or whimpering, but he's so full of fear, it's as if his body is imploding. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue. I believe you were saying something about best intentions. Brett can't say a word. What's the matter? Oh, you were through anyway. Well, let me retort. Would you describe for me what Marcellus Wallace looks like? Brett still can't speak. Jules snaps, savagely tipping the card table over, removing the only barrier between himself and Brett. Brett now sits in a lone chair before Jules, like a political prisoner in front of an interrogator. What country you from? What? What ain't no country I know? Do they speak English in what? What? English, you motherfucker! Can you speak it? Yes. Then you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Now describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Jules takes his .45 and presses the barrel hard in Brett's cheek. Say what again? Come on, say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Brett is regressed on the spot. Now describe to me what Marcellus Wallace looks like. Brett does his best. Well, he's black. Go on. And he's bald. Does he look like a bitch? What? Jules' eyes go to Vincent. Vincent smirks. Jules rolls his eyes and shoots Brett in the shoulder. Brett screams, breaking into a shaking, trembling spasm in the chair. Does he look like a bitch? No. Then why did you try to fuck him like a bitch? I didn't. Now in a lower voice. Yes, you did, Brett. You tried to fuck him. You ever read the Bible, Brett? Yes. There's a passage I got memorized. Seems appropriate for this situation. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities and the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper, and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. The two men empty their guns at the same time on the sitting Brett. Against a black title card, Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife. We fade up on Butch Coolidge, a white 26-year-old prize fighter. Butch sits at a table wearing a red and blue high school athletic jacket. Talking to him off-screen is everybody's boss, Marcellus Wallace. The black man sounds like a cross between a gangster and a king. I think you're going to find, when all this shit is over and done, I think you're going to find yourself one smiling motherfucker. Thing is, Butch, right now you got ability, but painful as it may be, ability won't last. Now that's a hard motherfucking fact of life, but it's a fact of life your ass is going to have to get realistic about. This business is filled to the brim with unrealistic motherfuckers who think their ass aged like wine. Besides, even if you went all the way, what would you be? Featherweight champion of the world? Who gives a shit? I doubt you can even get a credit card based on that. A hand lays an envelope full of money on the table in front of Butch. Butch picks it up. Now, the night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. That's pride fucking with you. Fuck pride. Pride only hurts. It never helps. Fight through that shit. 'Cause a year from now, when you're kicking it in the Caribbean, you're gonna say, Marcellus Wallace was right. I got no problem with that. In the 5th, your ass goes down. Butch nods his head yes. Say it! In the 5th, my ass goes down. Vincent Vega looks really cool behind the wheel of a 1964 cherry red Chevy Malibu convertible. From the car radio, rockabilly music plays. The background is a colorful process shot. Sally Leroy's during the day. Sally Leroy's is a large topless bat by LAX that Marcellus owns. Vincent's classic Malibu whips around the near-empty parking lot and parks next to a white Honda Civic. Vince knocks on the door. The front entrance is unlocked, revealing the dapper Dan fellow on the inside, English Dave. Dave isn't really English. He's a young black man from Baldwin Park who has run a few clubs for Marcellus, including Sally Leroy's. Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam, get your ass in here. Vincent, carrying the black briefcase from the scene between Vincent and Jules, steps inside. English Dave slams the door in our faces. The spacious club is empty this time of day. English Dave crosses to the bar and Vince follows. Where's the big man? He's over there, finishing up some business. Vincent's point of view. Butch shakes hands with a huge figure with his back to us. The huge figure is the infamous and as of yet still unseen Marcellus. Hang back for a second or two, and when you see the white boy leave, go on over. In the meanwhile, can I make you an espresso? How about a cup of just plain old American? Coming up, I heard you're taking Mia out tomorrow, at Marcellus's request. Have you met Mia? Not yet. English Dave smiles to himself. What's so funny? Not a goddamn thing. Look, I'm not an idiot. She's the big man's fucking wife. I'm gonna sit across the table, chew my food with my mouth closed, laugh at her jokes, and that's all I'm gonna do. English Dave puts Vince's coffee in front of him. My name's Paul. This is between y'all. Butch bellies up to the bar next to Vincent, drinking his cup of plain old American. To English Dave, can I get a pack of red apples? Filters? None. While Butch waits for his smokes, Vincent just sips his coffee, staring at him. Butch looks over at him. Looking at something, friend? I ain't your friend, Palooka. Butch does a slow turn towards Vincent. What was that? I think you heard me just fine, Punchy. Butch turns his body to Vincent when Vincent Vega has entered the building. Get your ass over here. Vincent walks forward out of frame, never giving Butch another glance. We dolly into close-up on Butch, left alone in the frame, looking like he's ready to go into the manners-teaching business. Butch's POV. Vincent hugging and kissing the obscured figure that is Marcellus. Butch makes the wise decision that this asshole is a friend of Marcellus, and he'd better let it go for now. Pack of red apples, $1.40. Butch is snapped out of his ass-kicking thoughts. He pays English Dave and walks out of the shot. We dissolve to Lance's house, a close-up on Jody, a woman who appears to have a fondness for earrings. Both of her ears are pierced 5 times. She also sports a ring in her lips, eyebrows, and nose. I'd lend it to you. It's a great book on body piercing. Jody, Vincent, and a young woman named Trudy sit at a kitchen table of a suburban house in Echo Park. Even though Vince is at the same table, he's not included in the conversation. You know how they use that gun when they pierce your ears? They don't use that when they pierce your nipples, do they? Forget that gun. That gun goes against the entire idea behind piercing. All of my piercing, 16 places on my body, every one of them done with a needle. 5 in each ear, 1 through the nipple on my left breast, 1 through my right nostril, 1 through my left eyebrow, 1 through my lip, 1 in my clit. I wear a stud on my tongue. Vince has been letting this conversation go through one ear and out the other, until the last remark. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I'm curious, why would you get a stud in your tongue? Jody looks at him and says, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world, it's a sex thing. It helps fellatio. That thought never occurred to Vincent, but he can't deny it makes sense. Jody continues talking to Trudy, leaving Vincent to ponder the truth of her statement. Vince, you can come in now. Inside of Lance's bedroom. Lance, in his late 20s, is a young man with a wild and woolly appearance that goes hand in hand with his wild and woolly personality. Lance has been selling drugs his entire adult life. He's never had a day job, never filed a tax return, and has never been arrested. He wears a red flannel shirt over a Speed Racer t-shirt. 3 bags of heroin lie on Lance's bed. Lance and Vincent stand at the foot of the bed. Now this is Panda from Mexico. Very good stuff. This is Bava, different but equally good. And this is Chaco from the Harz Mountains of Germany. Now the first 2 are the same, 45 an ounce. Those are friend prices. But this, pointing to the Chaco, this one's a little bit more expensive. It's 55. But when you shoot it, you'll know where the extra money went. Nothing wrong with the first 2. It's real good shit. But this one's a fucking madman. Remember, I just got back from Amsterdam. Am I a nigger? Are you in Inglewood? No, you're in my house. White people who know the difference between good shit and bad shit, this is the house they come to. My shit. And I'll take the Pepsi challenge with Amsterdam shit any old day of the fucking week. That's a bold statement. This ain't Amsterdam, Vince. This is a seller's market. Coke is fucking dead as disco. Heroin's back in a big fucking way. It's the whole 70s retro. Bell-bottoms, heroin. They're hot as hell. Vincent takes out a roll of money that would choke a horse to death. Give me 300 worth of the madman. If it's as good as you say, I'll be back for 1,000. I just hope I'll still have it. What do you think of Trudy? She ain't got a boyfriend. You want a handout and get high? Which one's Trudy? The one with all the shit in her face? No, that's Jody. That's my wife. Vincent and Lance giggle at the faux pas. I'm on my way somewhere. I got a dinner engagement. Rain check? No problem. Vince takes out his case of the works, utensils for shooting up. You don't mind if I shoot up here? Mi casa? Su casa. Mucho gracias. Vincent takes his works out of his case, and as the 2 continue to talk, Vince shoots up. You still got your Malibu? You know what some fucker did to it the other day? What? Fucking keyed it. Aw, man, that's fucked up. Tell me about it. I had the goddamn thing in storage for 3 years. It's out 5 fucking days. 5 days, and some dickless piece of shit fucks with it. They should be fucking killed. No trial, no jury. Straight to execution. As he cooks his heroin. I just wish I caught him doing it, you know? Aw, man. I'd give anything to catch him doing it. It'd be worth his doing it if I could have just caught him, you know what I mean? It's chicken shit. You don't fuck another man's vehicle. Close up going into Vincent's vein. Spurting back into the syringe was blood mixing with the heroin, and Vincent pushes down the plunger with his thumb. Marcellus Wallace's house, at night. Vincent walks towards the house and pulls a note off the door. The note reads, "Hi Vincent, I'm getting dressed. The door's open. Come inside and make yourself a drink. Mia." Voiceover of Mia. "Hi Vincent, I'm getting dressed. The door's open. Come inside and make yourself a drink." Vincent enters on the background. "Hello?" Mia, Marcellus's beautiful young wife. Video screens are in the background. Dusty Springfield is singing Son of a Preacher Man. Mia's mouth comes towards a microphone. Into the microphone. "Vincent." Vincent turns. "Vincent, I'm on the intercom." Into the microphone. "It's on the wall by the 2 African fellas." "To your right." Vincent walks. "Warm? Warmer? Disco." Vincent finds the intercom on the wall. "Hello?" "Push the button if you want to talk." "Hello?" "Go make yourself a drink. I'll be down in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail." "The bar is by the fireplace." "Okay." Vincent licks lips. A video screen with an image of Vincent walking. The Dusty Springfield song continues. Mia turns a knob which controls the movement of the video camera in Marcellus's living room. Vincent picks up a bottle of scotch. He sniffs the bottle and pours it into a glass. A razor blade cuts cocaine on a mirror. Vincent drinks a glass of scotch. Mia sniffs the cocaine. Vincent sips the drink and looks at a portrait of Mia on the wall. Mia walks into the room and takes the needle off a record. The Dusty Springfield song stops. "Let's go." Jack Rabbit Slims. In the past 6 years, 50s diners have sprung up all over LA, giving Thai restaurants a run for their money. They're all basically the same. Decor out of an Archie comic book, golden oldies, constantly emanating from the bubbly Wurlitzer, saucy waitress in bobby socks. Menus with items like the Fats Domino cheeseburger or the Wolfman Jack omelet, and over prices that pay for all this bullshit. But then there's Jack Rabbit Slims, the big mama of 50s diners. Either the best or the worst depending on your point of view. Vincent's Malibu pulls up to the restaurant. A big sign with a neon figure of a cartoon surly cool cat Jack Rabbit in a red windbreaker towers over the establishment. Underneath the cartoon is his name, Jack Rabbit Slims. Underneath that is the slogan, "Next best thing to a time machine." What the fuck is this place? This is Jack Rabbit Slims. An Elvis man would love it. Come on, Mia. Let's go get a steak. You can get a steak here, Daddy-O. Don't be a... She draws a square with her hands. Dotted lines appear on the screen, forming a square. The lines disperse. After you, kitty cat. Compared to the interior, the exterior was that of a quaint English pub. Posters from 50s AIP movies are all over the wall. Rock All Night, High School Confidential, Attack of the Crab Monster, and Machine Gun Kelly. The booths that the patrons sit in are made up of cut-up bodies of 50s cars. In the middle of the restaurant, in a dance floor, a big sign on the wall states, "No shoes allowed, no wannabe beboppers." Actually Melrose types. do the twist in their socks or bare feet. The picture windows don't look out the street, but instead, black and white movies from the 50s play behind them. The waitresses and waiters are made up as replicas of 50s icons: Marilyn Monroe, Zorro, James Dean, Donna Reed, Martin and Lewis, and the Philip Morris midget wait on tables wearing appropriate costumes. Vincent and Mia study the menu in a booth made out of a red 59 Edsel. Buddy Holly, their waiter, comes over sporting a big button on his chest that says, "Hi, I'm Buddy. Pleasing you pleases me." "Hi, I'm Buddy. What can I get you?" "I'll have the Douglas Sirk steak." "How do you want it? Burnt to a crisp or bloody as hell?" Bloody as hell, and to drink a vanilla Coke." "How about you, Peggy Sue?" "I'll have the Durwood Kirby burger, bloody, and a $5 shake." "How do you want that shake? Martin and Lewis or Amos and Andy?" "Martin and Lewis." "Did you just order a $5 shake?" "Sure did." "A shake, milk and ice cream?" "Uh-huh. It costs $5. "Yep." "You don't put bourbon in it or anything?" "Nope. Just checking." Buddy exits. Vincent takes a look around the place. The yuppies are dancing, and diners are biting into big juicy hamburgers, and the icons are playing their parts. Marilyn is squealing. The midget is paging Philip Morris. Donna Reed is making her customers drink their milk, and Dean and Jerry are acting a fool. What do you think? It's like a wax museum with a pulse rate. Vincent takes out his pouch of tobacco and begins rolling himself a smoke. After a second of watching him, "What are you doing?" "Rolling a smoke." "Here?" "It's just tobacco." "Oh, well, in that case, will you roll me one, cowboy?" As he finishes licking it. "You can have this one, cowgirl." He hands her the rolled smoke. She takes it, putting it to her lips. Out of nowhere appears a Zippo lighter in Vince's hand. He lights it. "Thanks." "Think nothing of it." He begins rolling one for himself. At this time, the sound of a subway car fills the diner, making everything shake and rattle. Marilyn Monroe runs to a square vent in the floor. An imaginary subway train blows the skirt of her white dress around her ears as she lets out a squeal. The entire restaurant applauds. Back to Mia and Vincent. "Marcellus said you just got back from Amsterdam." "I sure did. I heard you did a pilot." "That was my 15 minutes. "What was it?" "It was a show about a team of female secret agents called Fox Force 5. "What?" "Fox Force 5, as in we're a bunch of foxy chicks. Force as in we're a force to be reckoned with. And 5 as in there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. There was a blonde one, Somerset O'Neill from that show Baton Rouge. She was the leader. There was a Japanese one, black one, a French one, and a brunette one, which was me. We all had special skills. Somerset had a photographic memory, and the Japanese fox was a kung fu master. The black girl was a demolition expert, and the French fox specialty was sex." "What was your specialty?" "Knives. The character I played, Raven McCoy, her background was that she was raised by circus performers, so she grew up doing a knife act. According to the show, she was the deadliest woman in the world with a knife. But because she grew up in a circus, she was also something of an acrobat. She could do illusions, she was a trapeze artist. When you're keeping the world safe from evil, you never know when being a trapeze artist is going to come in handy. And she knew a zillion old jokes her grandfather, an old vaudevillian, taught her. And if we would have got picked up, they would have worked in a gimmick where every episode I would have told an old joke." "Do you remember any of the old jokes?" "Well, I only got a chance to say one because we only did one show." "Tell me." "No, it's really corny." "Come on, don't be that way." "No, you won't like it and I'll be embarrassed." "You told it in front of 50 million people and you can't tell it to me?" "I promise I won't laugh." "That's what I'm afraid of." "That's not what I meant, and you know it. You're quite the silver-tongued devil, aren't you?" "I meant I wouldn't laugh at you." "That's not what you said, Vince." Well, now I'm definitely not going to tell you because it's been built up too much. What a jip. Buddy comes back with the drinks. Mia wraps her lips around the straw of her shake. Yummy. Can I have a sip of that? I'd like to know what a $5 milkshake tastes like. Be my guest. She slides the shake over to him. You can use my straw, I don't have cooties. Vincent smiles. Yeah, but maybe I do. Cooties I can handle. He takes a step. God damn, that's a pretty fucking good milkshake. Told ya. I don't know if it's worth $5, but it's pretty fucking good. He slides the shake back. Then the first uncomfortable silence happens. Don't you hate that? What? Uncomfortable silences. Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable? I don't know. That's when you know you found somebody special, when you can just shut the fuck up for a minute and comfortably share silence. I don't think we're there yet, but don't feel bad, we just met each other. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go to the bathroom and powder my nose while you sit here and think of something to say. I'll do that. Mia powders her nose by doing a line of coke on the bathroom sink. Her head jerks up from the rush. I said, God damn! Imitating Steppenwolf. Vincent digs into his Douglas Sirk steak. As he chews, his eyes scan the Helsapopenish restaurant. Mia comes back to the table. Don't you love it when you go to the bathroom and find your food waiting for you when you come back? We're lucky we got it at all. Buddy Holly doesn't seem to be much of a waiter. We should have sat in Marilyn Monroe's section. Which one? There's 2 Marilyn Monroes. No, there's not. Pointing at Marilyn in the white dress serving a table. That's Marilyn Monroe. And then, pointing at a blonde waitress in a tight sweater and capri pants, taking an order from a bunch of film geeks. That's Mamie Van Doren. I don't see Jane Mansfield, so it must be her night off. Pretty smart. I have moments. Did you think of something to say? Actually, there's something I wanted to ask you about, but you seem like a nice person and I don't want to offend you. Oh, this doesn't sound like mindless, boring, getting to know you chit-chat. This sounds like you actually have something to say. Only if you promise not to get offended. You can't promise something like that. I have no idea what you're going to ask. You could ask me what you're going to ask me, and my natural response could be to be offended. And then, no fault of my own, I would have broken my promise. Then let's just forget it. See, that's an impossibility. Trying to forget anything as intriguing as this would be an exercise in futility. Is that a fact? Mia nods her head yes. Because it's more exciting when you don't have permission. What do you think about what happened to Antoine? Who's Antoine? Tony Rock Horror. He fell out of a window. That's one way to say it. Another way is he was thrown out. Another was he was thrown out by Marcellus. And another way, he was thrown out of a window by Marcellus because of you. Is that a fact? No, it's not. It's just what I heard. Who told you this? They. Mia and Vincent smile. They talk a lot, don't they? They certainly do. Well, don't be shy, Vincent. What exactly did they say? Vincent is slow to answer. Let me help you, Bashful. Did it involve the F word? No, they just said Rocky Horror gave you a foot massage. And? No, that's it. You heard Marcellus threw Rocky Horror out of a 4-story window because he massaged my feet? Yeah? And you believed that? Well, at the time I was told it seemed reasonable. Marcellus throwing Tony out of a 4-story window for giving me a foot massage seemed reasonable? No, it seemed excessive, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I heard Marcellus is very protective of you. A husband being protective of his wife is one thing. A husband almost killing another man for touching his wife's feet is something else. But did it happen? The only thing Antoine ever touched of mine was my hand when he shook it. I met Antoine once at my wedding and then never again. The truth is, nobody knows why Marcellus tossed Tony Rocky Horror out of that window except Marcellus and Tony Rocky Horror. But when you scamps get together, you're worse than a sewing circle. Ed Sullivan and Marilyn Monroe stand on stage. Into a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, now the moment you've all been waiting for, the world-famous Jackrabbit Slim's Twist Contest. The patrons cheer. Ed Sullivan is with Marilyn Monroe, who holds a trophy. One lucky couple will win this handsome trophy that Marilyn here is holding. Marilyn holds the trophy. Now, who will be our first contestants? Mia holds her hand. Right here! Vincent reacts. I want to dance. No. Mia overlaps. No. I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted. Now I want to dance. I want to win. I want that trophy. All right. So dance good. All right, you asked for it. Vincent and Mia walk out onto the dance floor towards Ed Sullivan. Let's hear it for our first contestants. Patrons cheer. Vincent and Mia walk up to the microphone. Now let's meet our first contestants here this evening. Young lady, what is your name? Mrs. Mia Wallace. And, how about your fella here? Vincent Vega. All right, let's see what you can do. Take it away. Mia and Vincent dance to Chuck Berry's You Never Can Tell. They make hand movements as they dance. Back at Marcellus Wallace's home. The front door flings open, and Mia and Vincent dance tango style into the house, singing a cappella the song from the previous scene. They finish their little dance laughing, and then the two just stand face to face looking at each other. Was this an uncomfortable silence? I don't know what that was. Music! And drinks! Mia moves away to attend to both. Vincent hangs up his overcoat on a bronze coat rack in the alcove. I'm going to take a piss. That was a little bit more information than I needed to know, but go right ahead. Vincent shuffles off to the John. Mia moves to her CD player, thumbs through a stack of CDs and selects one. K.D. Lang. The speakers blast out a high-energy country number, which Mia plays air guitar to. She dances her way around the room and finds herself by Vincent's overcoat hanging on the rack. She touches its sleeve. It feels good. Her hand goes in his pocket and pulls out his tobacco pouch. Like a little girl playing cowboy, she spreads the tobacco on some rolling paper, imitating what he did earlier, licks the paper, and rolls it into a pretty good cigarette. Maybe a little too fat, but not bad for a first try. Mia thinks so anyway. Her hand reaches back in the pocket and pulls out his Zippo lighter. She slaps the lighter against her leg, trying to light it fancy style like Vince did. What do you know? She did it. Mia's one happy clam. She triumphantly brings the fat flame to her fat smoke, lighting it up, and loudly snaps the Zippo closed. The Mia-made cigarette is brought to her lips, and she takes a long, cool drag. Her hand slides the Zippo back in the overcoat pocket. But wait, her fingers touch something else. Those fingers bring out a plastic bag with white powder inside. The madman that Vincent bought earlier from Lance. Wearing a big smile, Mia brings the bag of heroin up to her face. Like you would say, bingo. Disco! Vince, you little cola nut, you've been holding out on me. Vincent stands at the sink washing his hands, talking to himself in the mirror. One drink and leave. Don't be rude, but drink your drink quickly, say goodbye, walk out the door, get in your car, and go down the road. Mia has the unbeknownst to her heroin cut up in big lines on her glass-top coffee table. Taking her trusty $100 bill like a human dustbuster, she quickly snorts the fat line. Her head jerks back. Her hands go to her nose, which feels like it's on fucking fire. Something is terribly wrong. And then, the rush hits. Vincent dries his hands on a towel while he continues his dialogue with the mirror. It's a moral test of yourself, whether or not you can maintain loyalty, because when people are loyal to each other, that's very meaningful. Mia is on all fours trying to crawl to the bathroom, but it's like she's trying to crawl with the bones removed from her knees. Blood begins to drip from Mia's nose, and then her stomach gets into the act and she vomits. Vince continues. So you're gonna go out there, drink your drink, say goodnight, I've had a very lovely evening, go home and jack off. And that's all you're gonna do. Now that he's given himself a little pep talk, Vince is ready for whatever's waiting for him on the other side of that door, so he goes through it. We follow behind Vincent as he walks from the bathroom to the living room, where he finds Mia lying on the floor like a rag doll. She's twisted on her back. Blood and puke are down her front. Her face is contorted. Not out of the tightness of the pain, but just the opposite. The muscles in her face are so relaxed, she lies still with her mouth wide open, slack-jawed. Jesus Christ! Vincent moves like greased lightning to Mia's fallen body. Bending down where she lays, he puts his finger on her neck to check her pulse. She slightly stirs. Mia is aware of Vincent over her speaking to her. Vincent sounding weird. Mia, what the hell happened? But she's unable to communicate. Mia makes a few lost mumbles, but they're not distinctive enough to be called words. Vincent props her eyelids open to see the story. To himself, I'll be a son of a bitch! Mia, what did you take? Answer me, honey, what did you take? Mia is incapable of answering. He slaps her face hard. Vincent springs up and runs to his overcoat, hanging on the rack. He goes through the pockets frantically. It's gone. Vincent makes a beeline to Mia, and we follow. Okay, honey, we're gonna get you on your feet. He reaches her and hoists the deadweight up in his arms. We're on our feet now, and now we're gonna walk out to the car. Here we go. Watch us walk. We follow behind as he hurriedly walks the practically unconscious Mia through the house and out the front door. Vincent's hot rod is moving. Insert a speedometer, red needle on 100. Vincent, driving like a madman in a town without traffic laws, speeds the car into turns and up and over hills. Vincent, one hand firmly on the wheel, the other shifting like RoboCop, both eyes staring straight ahead, except when he glances over at Mia. Mia's slack-jawed expression, mouth gaping, posture of a bag of water. Vincent takes a cellular phone out of his pocket. He punches a number. At this late hour, Lance has transformed from a bon vivant drug dealer to a bathrobe creature. He sits in a big comfy chair, ratty blue gym pants, a worn-out but comfortable t-shirt that has written on it, Taft, California, and a moth-ridden terry cloth robe. In his hand is a bowl of Cap'n Crunch with crunch berries. In front of him is a coffee table with a jug of milk and the box the Cap'n Crunch with crunch berries came out of, and a hash pipe in an ashtray. On the big screen TV in front of the table is the Three Stooges, and they're getting married. Preacher. Hold hands, you lovebirds. The phone rings. Lance puts down his cereal and makes his way to the phone. It rings again. Jody, his wife, calls from the bedroom, obviously woken up. Lance, the phone is ringing. Lance, I can hear it. I thought you told those fucking assholes never to call this late. I told him, and that's what I'm going to tell this fucking asshole right now. He answers the phone. Hello? Do you know how late it is? You're not supposed to be calling me this fucking late. Vincent is still driving like a stripe-assed ape, clutching the phone to his ear. We cut back and forth during the conversation. Lance, this is Vincent. I'm in big fucking trouble, man. I'm on my way to your place. Whoa, hold your horses, man. What's the problem? You still got an adrenaline shot? Maybe. I need it, man. I got a chick. She's fucking ODing on me. Don't bring her here. I'm not even fucking joking with you. Don't you bring some fucked up poo butt to my house. No choice. She's ODing? Yeah, she's dying. Then bite the fucking bullet, take her to the hospital, and call a lawyer. Negative. She ain't my fucking problem. You fucked her up, you deal with it. Are you talking to me on a cell phone? Sorry. I don't know you. Who is this? Don't come here, I'm hanging up. Too late, I'm already here. At that moment inside Lance's house, we hear Vincent's Malibu coming up the street. Lance hangs up the phone, goes to his curtains, and yanks the cord. The curtain opens with a whoosh in time to see Vincent's Malibu driving up on his front lawn and crashing into his house. The window Lance is looking out of shatters from impact. What the hell was that? Lance charges from the window, out the door to his front lawn. Vincent is already out of the car, working on getting Mia out. Have you lost your mind? You crashed your car into my fucking house? You talk about drug shit on a cellular fucking phone? If you're through having your little hissy fit, this chick is dying. Get your needle and get it now. Are you deaf? You're not bringing that fucked up bitch in my house. This fucked up bitch is Marcellus Wallace's wife. Now if she fucking croaks on me, I'm a grease spot. But before he turns me into a soap bar, I'm gonna be forced to tell him how you could have saved her life. But instead, you let her die on your front lawn. We start in Lance's and Jody's bedroom. Jody in bed throws off the covers and stands up. She's wearing a long t-shirt with a picture of Fred Flintstone on it. We follow handheld behind her as she opens the door, walking through the hall into the living room. It's only 1:30 in the goddamn morning. What the fuck is going on out here? As she walks into the living room, she sees Vincent and Lance standing over Mia, who's lying on the floor in the middle of the room. From here on in, everything in this scene is frantic, like a documentary in an emergency ward, with the big difference here being nobody knows what the fuck they are doing. Who is she? Lance looks up at Jody. Get the black box in the bedroom I have with the adrenaline shot. What's wrong with her? She's ODing on us. Well, get her the hell out of here. Get the fucking shot! Don't yell at me! She angrily turns and disappears into the bedroom looking for the shot. She moves into the room with the two men. You two are a match made in heaven. Look, just keep talking to her, okay? While she's getting the shot, I'll get the medical book. What do you need a medical book for? To tell me how to do it. I've never given an adrenaline shot before. You've had that thing for 6 years and you've never used it? I've never had to use it. I don't go joy popping with bubblegummers. All of my friends can handle their highs. Well, then get it. I am, if you'll let me. I'm not fucking stopping you. Stop talking to me and start talking to her. We follow Lance as he runs out of the living room and into a spare room with a bunch of junk in it. He frantically starts scanning the junk for the book he's looking for, repeating the words, "Come on," endlessly. From off-screen we hear, "Hurry up, man, we're losing her!" "I'm looking as fast as I can." Lance continues his frenzied search. We hear Jody in the living room now as she talks to Vincent. What's he looking for? I don't know. Some medical book. Jody calls to Lance. What are you looking for? My black medical book! As he continues searching, flipping and knocking over shit, Jody appears in the hallway. What are you looking for? My black fucking medical book. It's like the textbook they give to nurses. I never saw a medical book. Trust me, I have one. Well, if it's that important, why didn't you keep it with the shot? Lance spins toward her. I don't know. Stop bothering me. While you're looking for it, that girl's gonna die on our carpet. You're never gonna find it in all this shit. For 6 months now I've been telling you to clean this room. Get your ass in here! Fuck the book! Lance angrily knocks over a pile of shit and leaves the shot, heading for the living room. Vince is bent over Mia, talking softly to her, when Lance re-enters the room. Quit fucking around, man, and give her the shot! Lance bends down by the black case brought in by Jody. He opens it and begins preparing the needle for injection. While I'm doing this, take her shirt off and find her heart. Vince rips her blouse open. Jody stumbles back in the room, hanging back from the action. Does it have to be exact? Yeah, it has to be exact. I'm giving her an injection in the heart, so I gotta hit her exactly in the heart. Well, I don't know exactly where her heart is. I think it's here. Vince points to Mia's right breast. Lance glances over and nods. That's it. As Lance readies the injection, Vincent looks up at Jody. I need a big fat magic marker. You got one? What? I need a big fat magic marker. Any felt pen'll do, but a magic marker would be great. Hold on. Jody runs to the desk, opens the top drawer, and in her enthusiasm, pulls the drawer out of the desk, the contents of which, bills, paper, pens, spill to the floor. The injection is ready. Lance hands Vincent the needle. It's ready. I'll tell you what to do. You're going to give her the shot. No, you're going to give her the shot. I've never done this before. I've never done this before either, and I ain't starting now. You brought her, that means you give her the shot. The day I bring an ODing bitch to your place, then I gotta give her the shot. Jody hurriedly joins them in a huddle, a big fat red magic marker in her hand. Got it. Vince grabs the magic marker out of Jody's hand and makes a big red dot in Mia's body where the heart is. Okay, what do I do next? Well, you're giving her a shot of adrenaline straight to her heart, but she's got a breastplate in front of her heart, so you gotta pierce through that. So what you gotta do is bring the needle down in a stabbing motion. Lance demonstrates a stabbing motion, which looks like The Shape, killing its victims in Halloween. I gotta stab her? If you want the needle to pierce through to her heart, you gotta stab her hard. Then once you do, push down on the plunger. What happens after that? I'm curious about that myself. This ain't a fucking joke, man. She's supposed to come out of it like that. Vince lifts the needle up above his head in a stabbing motion, and he looks down on Mia. Mia is fading fast. Soon nothing will help her. Vincent's eyes narrow, ready to do this. Count to 3. Lance is on his knees beside Vincent. He does not know what to expect. 1. The red dot on Mia's body. The needle raised to strike. 2. Jody's face is alive with anticipation. Needle in the air, poised like a rattler ready to strike. 3. The needle leaves frame, thrusting down hard. Vincent brings the needle down hard, stabbing Mia in the chest. Mia's head is jolted from the impact. The syringe plunger is pushed down, pumping the adrenaline out through the needle. Mia's eyes pop wide open, and she lets out a hellish cry of the banshee. She bolts up in a sitting position, needle stuck in her chest, screaming. Vincent, Lance, and Jody, who were sitting in positions in front of Mia, jump back, scared to death. Mia's scream runs out. She slowly starts taking breaths of air. The other 3, now scooted halfway across the room, shaken to their bones, look to see if she's all right. If you're okay, say something. Mia, still breathing, not looking up at them, says in a relatively normal voice, something. Vince and Lance collapse on their backs, exhausted and shaking from how close to death Mia came. Anybody want a beer? Vincent is behind the wheel of his Malibu driving Mia home. No one says anything, both are still too shaken. The Malibu pulls out front of Marcellus Wallace's house. Mia gets out without saying a word, still in a daze, and begins walking down the walkway towards her front door. Mia! She turns around. Vincent's out of the car, standing on the walkway, a big distance between the two. What are your thoughts on how to handle this? What are yours? Well, I'm of the opinion that Marcellus Wallace can live his whole life and never ever hear of this incident. Mia smiles. Don't worry about it. If Marcellus ever heard of this, I'd be in as much trouble as you. I seriously doubt that. If you can keep a secret, so can I. Let's shake on it. The two walk toward each other, holding out their hands to shake, and shake they do. Mum's the word. Mia lets go of Vincent's hand and silently makes a see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil sign with her hand. Vincent smiles. If you'll excuse me, I gotta go home and have a heart attack. Mia giggles. Vincent turns to leave. You still want to hear my Fox Force 5 joke? Vincent turns around. Sure, but I think I'm still a little too petrified to laugh. Uh-huh. You won't laugh because it's not funny, but if you still want to hear it, I'll tell it. I can't wait. 3 tomatoes are walking down a street. A papa tomato, a mama tomato, and a little baby tomato. The baby tomato is lagging behind the mama and papa tomato. The papa tomato gets mad, goes over to mama tomato, and stamps on him, and says, "Catch up." They both smile, but neither laugh. See you around, Vince. Mia turns and walks inside her house. After Mia walks inside, Vincent continues to look at where she was. He brings his hand to his lips and blows her a kiss, then exits frame, leaving it empty. We hear his Malibu start up and drive away. We fade to black. Fade up on the cartoon Speed Racer. Speed is giving a detailed description of all the features of his race car, the Mach 5, which he does at the beginning of every episode. Off screen, we hear a woman's voice. Butch? We're in a living room of a modest 2-bedroom house in Alhambra, California, in the year 1972. Butch's mother, 35-ish, stands in the doorway leading into the living room. Next to her is a man dressed in an American Air Force officer uniform. The camera is the perspective of a 5-year-old boy. Butch, stop watching TV for a second. We got a special visitor. Now, do you remember when I told you your dad died in a POW camp? Uh-huh. Well, this is Captain Coons. He was in the POW camp with Daddy. Captain Coons steps inside the room towards the little boy and bends down on one knee to bring him even with the boy's eyeline. When Coons speaks, he speaks with a slight Texas accent. Hello, little man. Boy, I sure heard a bunch about you. See, I was a good friend of your daddy's. We were in that Hanwha pit of hell over 5 years together. Hopefully you'll never have to experience this yourself, but when 2 men are in a situation like me and your daddy were, for as long as we were, you take on certain responsibilities of the other. If it had been me who had made it, Major Coolidge would be talking right now to my son Jim. But the way it worked out, I'm talking to you. Butch, I've got something for you. The captain pulls a gold wrist watch out of his pocket. This watch I got here was first purchased by your great-granddaddy. It was bought during the First World War in a little general store in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was bought by Private Doughboy Ernie Coolidge the day he set sail for Paris. It was your great-granddaddy's war watch, made by the first company to ever make wristwatches. You see, up until then, people just carried pocket watches. Your great-granddaddy wore that watch every day he was in the war. And then, when he had done his duty, he went home to your great-grandmother. He took the watch off his wrist and put it in an old coffee can. In that can it stayed until your grandfather Dane Coolidge was called upon by his country to go overseas and fight the Germans once again. This time they called it World War II. Your great-granddaddy gave it to your granddad for good luck. Unfortunately, Dane's luck wasn't as good as his old man's. Your granddad was a Marine and he was killed with all the other Marines at the Battle of Wake Island. Your granddad was facing death and he knew it. None of those boys had any illusions about ever leaving that island alive, so 3 days before the Japanese took the island, your 22-year-old grandfather asked a gunner on an Air Force transport named Winoki, a man he had never met before in his life, to deliver to his infant son, who had never seen in the flesh, his gold watch. 3 days later, your grandfather was dead, but Winoki kept his word. After the war was over, he paid a visit to your grandmother, delivering it to your infant father, his dad's gold watch. This watch. This watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanwha. He was captured and put in a Vietnamese prison camp. Now, he knew if the gooks ever saw the watch, it would be confiscated. The way your daddy looked at it, that watch was your birthright. And he'd be damned if he saw those slopeheads were going to put their greasy yellow hands on his boy's birthright. So he hid it in the one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch up his ass, and then when he died of dysentery, he gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass for 2 years, and then, after 7 years, I was sent home to my family. And now, little man, I give the watch to you. Captain Coons hands the watch to Butch. A little hand comes into frame to accept it. A 27-year-old Butch Coolidge is dressed in boxing regalia, trunks, shoes, and gloves. He lies on a table catching a few Z's before his big fight. Almost as soon as we cut to him, he wakes up with a start. Shaken by the bizarre memory, he wipes his sweaty face with his boxing glove. His trainer, Klondike, an older fireplug, opens the door a little, sticking his head in the room. Pandemonium seems to be breaking out behind Klondike in the hallway. "It's time, Butch." "I'm ready." Klondike steps inside, closing the door on the wild mob outside. He goes to the long yellow robe hanging on a hook. Butch hops off the table, and without a word, Klondike helps him get the robe on, which reads on the back, "Battling Butch Coolidge." The 2 men head for the door. Klondike opens the door for Butch. As Butch steps into the hallway, the crowd goes apeshit. Klondike closes the door behind him, leaving us in the quiet, empty locker room. Title card: The Gold Watch. We hear over the black and white title a sportscaster. "Well, Dan, that had to be the bloodiest and hands down the most brutal fight this city has ever seen." The sound of chaos in the background. A taxi is parked in a dark alley next to an auditorium. The sky is pissing down rain. We slowly dolly toward the parked car. The sound of the car radio can be heard from inside. "Coolidge was out there faster than I've ever seen a victorious boxer vacate the ring. Do you think he knew Willis was dead?" "My guess would be yes, Richard. I could see from my position here the frenzy in his eyes give way to the realization of what he was doing. I think any man would have left the ring that fast." Inside the taxi behind the wheel is a female cabbie named Esmeralda Villalobos. A young woman with Spanish looks sits parked, drinking a steaming hot cup of coffee out of a white styrofoam cup. The sportscasters continue their coverage. "Do you feel this ring death tragedy will have an impact on the world of boxing?" "Oh, Dan, a tragedy like this can't help but shake the world of boxing to its very foundation. But it's of paramount importance that during the sad weeks ahead, the eyes of the WBA remain firmly fixed on the..." Click. Esmeralda shuts off the radio. She takes a sip of coffee, and then hears a noise behind her in the alley. She sticks her head out of the car door to see a window about 3 stories high opens on the auditorium side of the alley. A gym bag is tossed out of a garbage dumpster below the window, and then Butch Coolidge, still dressed in boxing trunks, shoes, gloves, and a yellow robe, leaps to the dumpster below. Esmeralda's reaction takes in the strangeness of this sight. Gym bag in hand, Butch climbs out of the dumpster and runs to the taxi. Before he climbs in, he takes off his robe and throws it to the ground. Butch, soaking wet, naked except for trunks, shoes, and gloves, hops in the back seat and slams the door. Esmeralda, staring straight ahead, talks to Butch through the rearview mirror. "Are you the man I was supposed to pick up?" "If you're the cab I called, I'm the guy you're supposed to pick up." "Where to?" "Out of here." The ignition key is twisted. The engine roars to life. The meter is flipped on. Esmeralda's bare foot stomps on the gas pedal. The cab whips out of the alley, fishtailing on the wet pavement in front of the auditorium at a rapid pace. The locker room door opens, and English Dave fights his way through the pandemonium which is going outside in the hall, shutting the door on the madness. Once inside, English Dave takes time to adjust his suit and tie. Mia is standing by the door. She sees Vincent with English Dave. "Mia, how you doing?" "Great. I never thanked you for dinner." In the room, black boxer Floyd Ray Willis lies on the table dead. His face looks like he went dunking for bees. His trainer is on his knees, head on Floyd's chest, crying over the body. The huge figure that is Marcellus Wallace stands on the table, hand on the trainer's shoulder, lending emotional support. We still do not see Marcellus clearly, only that he is big. Mia sits in a chair at the far end of the room. Marcellus looks up, sees English Dave, and walks over to him. "What you got?" "He's booked. I'm prepared to scour the earth for this motherfucker. If Butch goes to Indochina, I want a nigger hiding in a bowl of rice, ready to pop a cap in his ass. I'll take care of it." Butch, in the cab, gets one of his boxing gloves off. Esmeralda watches in the rearview mirror. He tries to roll down one of the backseat windows, but he can't find the roll bar. "Hey, how do I open the window back here?" "I have to do it." She presses a button and the back window moves down. Butch tosses his boxing glove out the window and then starts untying the other one. Esmeralda can't keep quiet anymore. "Hey, mister!" Still working on the glove. "What?" "You were in that fight. The fight on the radio? You are the fighter?" As he tosses his other glove out the window. "Whatever gave you that idea?" "No, come on, you're him. I know you're him. Tell me you're him." Drying himself with a gym towel. "I'm him." "You killed the other boxing man." "He's dead?" "The radio said he was dead." He finished wiping himself down. To himself, "Sorry about that, Floyd." He tosses the towel out the window. Silence as Bush digs in his bag for a t-shirt. "What does it feel like?" Finding his shirt. "What does what feel like?" "Killing a man. Beating another man to death with your bare hands." Butch pulls on his t-shirt. "Are you some kind of weirdo?" "No, it's a subject I have much interest in. You are the first person I have met who has killed somebody. So, what was it like to kill a man?" "Tell you what. You give me one of those cigarettes, and I'll give you an answer." Esmeralda bounces in her seat with excitement. "Deal!" Butch leans forward. Esmeralda, keeping her eyes on the road, passes a cigarette back to him. He takes it, and then, still not looking behind her, she brings up her hand, a lit match in it. Butch lights his smoke and then blows out the match. He takes a long drag. "So," he looks at her license. "Esmeralda Villalobos. Is that Mexican?" "The name is Spanish, but I'm Colombian." "It's a very pretty name." "It means Esmeralda of the Wolves." "That's one hell of a name you got there, sister." "Thanks. And what is your name?" "Butch." "Butch, what does it mean?" I'm an American. Our names don't mean shit." "Anyway, moving right along. What is it you want to know, Esmeralda?" "I want to know what it feels like to kill a man." "I couldn't tell you. I didn't know he was dead till you told me he was dead. Now I know he's dead. Do you want to know how I feel about it?" "Yes." "I don't feel the least bit bad." We dolly around a phone booth as Butch talks inside. "What did I tell you? As soon as the word got out the fix was in, the odds would have been out of control. Hey, if he was a better fighter, he'd still be alive. If he never laced up his gloves in the first place, which he never should have done, he'd be alive. Enough about the poor unfortunate Mr. Floyd. Let's talk about the rich and prosperous Mr. Butch. How many bookies you spread it around with?" 8? How long to collect?" "So by tomorrow evening you'll have it all." "Good news, Scotty. Real good news. I understand a few stragglers aside. Me and Fabian are going to leave in the morning. It should take us a couple days to get to Knoxville. Next time we see each other, I'll be on Tennessee time." Butch hangs up the phone. He looks at the cab waiting to take him wherever he wants to go. "Butch, to himself in French with English subtitles. Fabian, my love, our adventure begins. Esmeralda's taxi pulls into the motel parking lot. The rain has stopped, and the night is still soaked. Butch gets out, now fully dressed in t-shirt, jeans, and high school athletic jacket. He leans in the driver's side window. $45.60. Handing her the money. Merci beaucoup. Here's a little something for the effort. Butch holds up $100 bill. Esmeralda's eyes light up. She goes to take it. Butch holds it out of reach. Now, if anybody asks you about what your fare was tonight, what are you going to tell them? The truth. 3 well-dressed, slightly toasted Mexicans. He gives her the bill. Bonsoir, Esmeralda. In Spanish. Sleep well, Butch. He tweaks her nose, she smiles, and he turns and walks away. She drives off. Butch enters a motel room and turns on the light. Lying curled up on the bed, fully dressed, with her back to us, is Butch's French girlfriend Fabienne. Keep the lights off. Butch flicks the switch back, making the room dark again. Is that better, Sugar Pop? Oui. Hard day at the office? Pretty hard. I got into a fight. Poor baby. Can we make spoons? Butch climbs into bed, spooning Fabienne from behind. When Butch and Fabienne speak to each other, they speak in baby talk. I was looking at myself in the mirror. Uh-huh. I wish I had a pot. You were looking in the mirror and you wish you had some pot? A pot. A pot belly. Pot bellies are sexy. Well, you should be happy, 'cause you do. Shut up, fatso. I don't have a pot. I have a bit of a tummy, like Madonna when she did Lucky Star. It's not the same thing. I didn't realize there was a difference between a tummy and a pot belly. The difference is huge. You want me to have a pot? No, pot bellies make a man look either oafish or like a gorilla, but on a woman, a pot belly is very sexy. The rest of you is normal. Normal face, normal legs, normal hips, normal ass, but with a big, perfectly round pot belly. If I had one, I'd wear a t-shirt 2 sizes too small to accentuate it. You think guys would find that attractive? I don't give a damn what men find attractive. It's unfortunate what we find pleasing to the touch and pleasing to the eye is seldom the same. If I had a pot belly, I'd punch you in it. You'd punch me in the belly? Right in the belly. I'd smother you. I'd drop it right on your face till you couldn't breathe. You would do that to me? Yes. Did you get everything, Sugar Pop? Yes, I did. Good job. Did everything go as planned? You didn't listen to the radio? I never listened to your fights. Were you the winner? I won all right. Are you still retiring? Sure am. What about the man you fought? Floyd retired too. Really? He won't be fighting no more? Not no more. So it all worked out in the finish. We ain't at the finish, baby. Fabienne rolls over and Butch gets on top of her. They kiss. We're in a lot of danger, aren't we? Butch nods his head. Yes. If they find us, they'll kill us, won't they? Butch nods his head. Yes. But they won't find us, will they? Butch nods his head, no. Do you still want me to go with you? Butch nods his head, yes. I don't want to be a burden or a nuisance. Butch's hand goes out of frame and starts massaging her crotch. Fabienne reacts. Say it. Fabienne, I want you to be with me. Forever? And ever. Fabienne lies her head back. Butch continues to massage her crotch. Do you love me? Oui. Butch, will you give me oral pleasure? Butch kisses her on the mouth. Will you kiss it? She nods her head. Yes. But you first. Butch's head goes out of frame to carry out the oral pleasure. Fabienne's face is alone in the frame. In French with English subtitles. Butch, my love, the adventure begins. Fade to black. The same motel room except empty. we hear the shower running in the bathroom. The camera moves to the bathroom doorway. We see Fabienne in a white terry cloth robe that seems to swallow her up. She's drying her head with a towel. Butch is inside the shower washing up. We see the outline of his naked body through the smoky glass of the shower door. Steam fills the bathroom. Butch turns the shower off and opens the door, popping his head out. I think I cracked a rib. Giving me oral pleasure? No, retard. From the fight. Don't call me retard. In a mongoloid voice. My name is Fabi. My name is Fabi. Shut up, fuckhead. I hate that mongoloid voice. Okay, sorry. I take it back. Can I have my towel, please, Miss Beautiful Tulip? Oh, I like that. I like being called Tulip. Tulip is much better than mongoloid. She finishes drying her hair and wraps the towel like a turban on her head. I didn't call you a mongoloid. I called you a retard. But I took it back. She hands him a towel. Merci beaucoup. Butch? Yes, lemon pie? Where are we going to go? I'm not sure yet. Wherever you want. We're going to get a little money from this, but it ain't going to be so much, so we can't live like hogs in a fat house forever. I was thinking we could go somewhere in the South Pacific. The kind of money we'll have will carry us for a long time down there. So if we wanted, we could live in Bora Bora? You betcha. And if after a while you don't dig Bora Bora, we could move over to Tahiti or Mexico. But I don't speak Spanish. You don't speak Bora Boran either. Besides, Mexico is easy. Donde está el zapataria? What does that mean? Where's the shoe store? Donde está el zapataria? Excellent pronunciation. You'll be my little mamacita in no time. Butch exits the bathroom. We stay on Fabienne as she brushes her teeth. Butch keeps on from the other room. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? What time is it? Time for bed. Sweet dream, Jellybean. Fabienne brushes her teeth. We watch her for a moment or two, and then she remembers something. Butch? She walks out of the bathroom to ask Butch a question, only to find him sound asleep on the bed. She looks at him for a moment. Forget it. She exits the frame, going back in the bathroom. We stay on the wide shot of the unconscious Butch in the bed. The same shot as before in the next morning. We find Butch still asleep in bed. Fabienne brushes her teeth half in and half out of the bathroom so she can watch TV at the same time. She still wears the terry cloth robe from the night before. On TV, William Smith and a bunch of Hell's Angels are taking on the entire Vietnamese army in the film The Losers. Butch wakes from his sleep as if a scary monster was chasing him. His start startles Fabienne. Merde! You startled me. Did you have a bad dream? Butch squints down the front of the bed at her, trying to focus. Butch, still trying to chase the cobwebs away, sees on TV Hell's Angels tearing ass through the Vietnamese prison camp. What are you watching? A motorcycle movie. I'm not sure the name. Are you watching it? Fabienne enters the room. In a way. Why? Would you like me to shut it off? Would you please? She reaches over and turns off the TV. It's a little too early in the morning for explosions and war. What was it about? How should I know? You were the one watching it. Fabienne laughs. No, imbecile. What was your dream about? Oh, I don't remember. It's really rare I remember a dream. You just woke up from it. Fabienne, I'm not lying to you. I don't remember it. Well, let's look at the grumpy man in the morning. I didn't say you were lying. It's just odd you don't remember your dreams. I always remember mine. Did you know you talk in your sleep? I don't talk in my sleep. Do I talk in my sleep? You did last night. What did I say? Lying on top of him. I don't know. I couldn't understand you. She kisses Butch. Why don't you get up and we'll get some breakfast at that breakfast place with the pancakes? One more kiss and I'll get up. Fabian gives Butch a long, sweet kiss. Satisfied? Yup. Then get up, lazy bones. Butch climbs out of bed and starts pulling clothes out of the suitcase that Fabian brought. What time is it? Almost 9 in the morning. What time does our train arrive? 11. I'm gonna order a big plate of blueberry pancakes with maple syrup, eggs over easy, and 5 sausages. Butch is surprised at her potential appetite. Anything to drink with that? Butch is finished dressing, referring to his clothes. Oh yes, that looks nice. To drink, a tall glass of orange juice or a black cup of coffee. After that, I'm going to have a slice of pie. As he goes through the suitcase. Pie for breakfast? Any time of day is a good time for pie. Blueberry pie to go with the pancakes. And on top, a thin slice of melted cheese. Where's my watch? It's there. No, it's not. It's not here. Have you looked? By now, Butch is frantically rummaging through the suitcase. Yes, I fucking looked. He's now throwing clothes. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? Are you sure you got it? Fabian can hardly speak. She's never seen Butch this way. Yes, beside the table drawer. On a little kangaroo. Yes, it was on your little kangaroo. Well, it's not here. Fabian is on the verge of tears. Well, it should be. Oh, it most definitely should be here, but it's not. So where is it? Fabian is crying and scared. Butch lowers his voice, which only serves to make him more menacing. Fabian, that was my father's fucking watch. You know what my father went through to get me that watch? I don't want to get into it right now, but he went through a lot. Now all this other shit, you could have set on fire, but I specifically reminded you not to forget my father's watch. Now think, did you get it? I believed so. You believed so? You either did or you didn't. Now which one is it? Then I did. Are you sure? No. Butch freaks out. He punches the air. Fabian screams and backs into a corner. Butch picks up the motel TV and throws it against the wall. Fabian screams in horror. Butch looks towards her, suddenly calm. To Fabian. No, it's not your fault. He approaches her. You left it at the apartment. He bends down in front of the woman who has sunk to the floor. He touches her hand and she flinches. If you did leave it at the apartment, it's not your fault. I had you bring a bunch of stuff. I reminded you about it, but I didn't illustrate how personal the watch was to me. If all I gave a fuck about was the watch, I should have told you. You ain't a mind reader. He kisses her head and then rises. Fabian is still sniffling. Butch goes to the closet. I'm sorry. Butch puts on his high school jacket. Don't be. It just means I won't be able to eat breakfast with you. Why does it mean that? Because I'm going back to my apartment to get my watch. Won't the gangsters be there looking for you? That's what I'm going to find out. If they are, and I don't think I can handle it, I'll split. Rising from the floor. I was so dreadful. I saw your watch. I thought they brought it. I'm so sorry. Butch brings her close and puts his hands on her face. Don't feel bad, Sugar Pop. Nothing you could ever do would make me permanently angry at you. I love you, remember? He digs some money out of his wallet. Now here's some money. Order those pancakes and have a great breakfast. Don't go. I'll be back before you can say blueberry pie. Blueberry pie. Well, maybe not that fast, but fast, okay? Okay. He kisses her head once more and heads for the door. Bye-bye, Sugar Pop. Bye. I'm going to take your Honda. Okay. And with that, he's out the door. Fabian sits on the bed and looks at the money he gave her. Butch is beating the steering wheel and the dash with his fists as he drives down the street. Of all the fucking things she could have forgot, she forgets my father's watch. I specifically reminded her not to forget it. Bedside table, on the kangaroo. I said the words, don't forget my father's watch. The little Honda races towards its destination as fast as its little engine will take it. A parking meter red flag rises up and then out, leaving the arrow pointing at 1 hour. Butch isn't completely reckless. He has parked his car a couple of blocks from his apartment to check things out before he goes bopping through the front door. Butch walks down the alley until he gets to another street, and then he discreetly glances out. Everything seems normal, more or less the right number of cars in the street. None of the parked cars appear out of place. None of them have a couple of goons sitting inside. Basically, it looks like a normal morning activity in front of Butch's home. Butch peers around a wall, taking in vital information. Butch walks out of the alley and is ready for anything. He crosses the street and enters his apartment courtyard. Across the street from Butch's building on the corner is a combination donut shop and Japanese restaurant. A big sign sticks up in the air with the name Teriyaki Donut, and a graphic of a donut sticking out of a bowl of rice. Butch is in the courtyard of his North Hollywood apartment building. Once again, everything appears normal. The laundry room, the pool, his apartment door, nothing appears disturbed. Butch climbs the stairs leading to his apartment, number 12. He steps outside the door and listens inside. Nothing. Butch slowly inserts the key into the door, quietly opening it. His apartment hasn't been touched. He cautiously steps inside, shuts the door, and takes a quick look around. Obviously, no one is there. Butch walks into his modest kitchen and opens the refrigerator, takes out a carton of milk and drinks from it. With carton in hand, Butch surveys the apartment, and then goes to the bedroom. His bedroom is like the rest of the apartment, neat, clean, and anonymous. The only thing personal in his room are a few boxing trophies, an Olympic silver medal, a framed issue of Ring magazine with Butch on the cover, and a poster of Jerry Quarry and one of George Chuvalo. Sure enough, there's the watch, just like he said it was, on the bedside table, hanging on his little kangaroo statue. He walks through the apartment and back into the kitchen. He opens a cupboard and takes out a box of Pop-Tarts. Putting down the milk, he opens the box, takes out 2 Pop-Tarts, and puts them in the toaster. Butch glances to his right, and his eyes fall on something. What he sees is a small, compact Czech M61 submachine gun with a huge silencer on it, lying on his kitchen counter. Butch softly, "Holy shit." He picks up the intimidating piece of weaponry and examines it, and then a toilet flushes. Butch looks up to the bathroom door, which is parallel to the kitchen. There is someone behind it. Like a rabbit caught in a radish patch, Butch freezes, not knowing what to do. The bathroom door opens, and Vincent Vega steps out of the bathroom, tightening his belt. In his hand is the book Modesty Blaise by Peter O'Donnell. Vincent and Butch lock eyes. Vincent freezes. Butch doesn't move, except to point the M61 in Vincent's direction. Neither man opens his mouth. And then, the toaster loudly kicks up Pop-Tarts. That's all the situation needed. Butch's finger hits the trigger. Muffled fire shoots out of the gun. Vincent is seemingly racked by 20 bullets simultaneously, lifting him off his feet, propelling him through the air, and crashing through the glass shower door at the end of the bathroom. By the time Butch removes his finger from the trigger, Vincent is annihilated. Butch stands frozen, amazed at what just happened. His look goes from the grease spot that was Vince in the bathroom down to the powerful piece of artillery in his grip. With the respect it deserves, Butch carefully places the M61 back on the kitchen counter, and then he exits the apartment quickly. Butch, not running but walking very rapidly, crosses the courtyard. comes out of the apartment building, crosses the street, goes through the alley, and into his car in one steady cam shot. Butch cranks the car into gear and drives away. The big wide smile of a survivor breaks across his face. The Honda turns down the alley and slowly cruises by his apartment building. Butch looks out the window at his former home. That's how you're gonna beat 'em, Butch. They keep underestimating you. This makes the boxer laugh out loud. As he laughs, he flips a tape in the cassette player. When the music starts, he sings along with it. He drives by the apartment, but is stopped at the light on the corner across from Teriyaki Donut. Butch is still chuckling, singing along with the song as we see, through the windshield, the big man himself, Marcellus Wallace, exit Teriyaki Donut, carrying a box of a dozen donuts and 2 large styrofoam cups of coffee. He steps off the curb, crossing the street in front of Butch's car. This is the first time we see Marcellus clearly. Laughing Butch stops when he sees the big man directly in front of him. When Marcellus is in front of Butch's car, he casually glances to his left, sees Butch, continues walking, and then stops. He double takes. Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Butch doesn't wait for the big man to answer his own question. He stomps on the gas pedal. The little Honda slams into Marcellus, sending him the donuts and the coffee, hitting the pavement at 30 miles an hour. Butch cuts into cross traffic and is broadsided by a gold Camaro Z28, breaking all the windows in the Honda and sending it up on the sidewalk. Butch sits dazed and confused in the crumpled mess of what at one time was Fabian's Honda. Blood flows from his nostrils. The still functional tape player continues to play. A pedestrian pokes his head inside. Jesus, are you okay? Butch looks at him, spaced out. I guess. Marcellus Wallace lies sprawled out on the street. Gawkers gather around the body. He's dead! He's dead! This jerk's yelling makes Marcellus come to. 2 pedestrians help the shaken Butch out of the wreckage. The woozy Marcellus gets to his feet. If you need a witness in court, I'll be glad to help. He's a drunken maniac. He hit you, and then he crashed into that car. Marcellus, still incoherent. Who? Him! He points at Butch. Marcellus follows the gawker's finger and sees Butch Coolidge down the street, looking in shambles. Well, I'll be damned. The big man takes out a .45 automatic and the gawkers back away. Marcellus starts moving towards Butch. Butch sees the fierce figure making a wobbly beeline towards him. Sacre bleu! Marcellus brings up his weapon and fires, but he is so hurt, shaky and dazed, that his arm goes wild. He hits a looky-loo man in the hip. She falls to the ground, screaming. Oh my God, I've been shot! That's all Butch needs to see. He's out of here. Marcellus runs after him. The crowd looks agape. Butch is in a mad limping run. The big man is hot on his ass with a cockeyed wobbly run. Butch cuts across traffic and dashes into a business with a sign that reads Mason Dixie Pawn Shop. Maynard, a hillbilly-looking boy, stands behind the counter of his pawn shop when all of a sudden, chaos in the form of Butch races into his world. Can I help you with something? Shut up! Butch quickly takes measure of the situation and then stands next to the door. Now you just wait one goddamn minute. Before Maynard can finish his threat, Marcellus charges in. He doesn't get past the doorway because Butch lands his fist in Marcellus's face. The gangster's feet go out from under him and the big man falls flat on his back. Outside, 2 police cars with their sirens blaring race by. Butch pounces on the falling body, pounding him twice more in the face. Butch takes the gun out of Marcellus's hand and then grabs a hold of his middle finger. So you like chasing people, huh? He breaks the finger. Marcellus lets out a pain sound. Butch then places the barrel of the .45 between his eyes, pulls back the hammer, and places his open hand behind the gun to shield the spatter. "Well, guess what, big man? You caught me." "Hold it right there, goddammit!" Butch and Marcellus look up at Maynard, who's brandishing a pump-action shotgun aimed at the two men. "Look, mister, this ain't any of your business." "I'm making it my business. Now toss the gun." Butch does. "Now, you on top. Stand up and come to the counter." Butch slowly gets up and moves to the counter. As soon as he gets there, Maynard hauls off, hitting him hard in the face with the butt of the shotgun, knocking Butch down and out. After Butch goes down, Maynard calmly lays the shotgun on the counter and moves to the telephone. Marcellus Wallace, from his position on the floor, groggily watches the pawnshop owner dial a number. Maynard watches on the line while the other end rings and then picks it up. "Zed, it's Maynard. The spider just caught a couple of flies." Marcellus passes out. Marcellus and Butch are tied up in two separate chairs. In their mouths are two S&M style ball gags, a belt that goes around their heads, and a little red ball stuck in their mouth. Both men are unconscious. Maynard steps in with a fire extinguisher and sprays both guys until they're wide awake and wet as otters. The two prisoners look up at their captors. Maynard stands in front of them, fire extinguisher in one hand, shotgun in the other, and Marcellus's .45 sticking in his belt. "Nobody kills anybody in my place of business except me or Zed." A buzzer buzzes. "That's Zed." Without saying another word, Maynard climbs up the stairs that lead to red curtains and goes through them. We hear on the other side of the curtains, Maynard let Zed inside the store. Butch and Marcellus look around the room. The basement of the pawn shop has been converted into a dungeon. After taking in their predicament, Butch and Marcellus look at each other, all traces of hostility gone, replaced by a terror they both share at what they've gotten themselves into. Maynard and Zed come through the curtains. Zed is an even more intense version of Maynard, if such a thing is possible. The two hillbillies are obviously brothers. Where Maynard is a vicious pit bull, Zed is a deadly cobra. Zed walks in and stands in front of the two captives. He inspects them for a long time and then says, "You said you waited for me?" "I did." "Then how come they're all beat up?" "They did that to each other. They was fighting when they came in. This one was going to shoot that one." To Butch, "You were going to shoot him?" Butch makes no reply. "Hey, is Grace going to be okay in front of this place?" "Yeah, it ain't Tuesday, is it?" "No, it's Thursday." "Then she'll be fine." "Bring out the gimp." "I think the gimp's sleeping." "Well, I guess you'll just have to wake him up then, won't you?" Maynard opens a trap door in the floor, yelling in the hole, "Wake up!" Maynard reaches into the hole and comes back holding onto a leash. He gives it a rough yank, and from below the floor rises the gimp. The gimp is a man they keep dressed from head to toe in black leather bondage gear. There are zippers, buckles, and studs here and there on the body. On his head is a black leather mask with 2 eye holes and a zipper closed for the mouth. They keep him in a hole in the floor, big enough for a large dog. Zed takes the chair, sits it in front of the two prisoners, and then lowers into it. Maynard hands the gimp's leash to Zed and then backs away. To Gimp, "Down!" The gimp gets on his knees. Maynard hangs back while Zed appraises the two men. "Who's first?" "I ain't for sure yet." Then with his little finger, Zed does a silent eeny meeny miny mo, just his mouth mouthing the words and his finger going back and forth between the two. Butch and Marcellus are terrified. Maynard looks back and forth at the victims. The gimp's eyes go from one to the other inside the mask. Zed continues his silent sing-song with his finger moving left to right and then stops. After a beat, the camera moves to the right, zeroing in on Marcellus. Zed stands up. You want to do it here? Nah, drag big boy to Russell's old room. Zed grabs Marcellus's chair and drags him into Russell's old room. Russell, no doubt, was some other poor bastard that had the misfortune of stumbling into the Mason-Dixie pawn shop. Whatever happened to Russell is known only to Maynard and Zed because his old room, a back room in the back of an empty room, is empty. As Marcellus is dragged away, he locks eyes with Butch before he disappears behind the door of Russell's old room. To the Gimp, up! The Gimp rises. Maynard ties the Gimp's leash to a hook on the ceiling. Keep an eye on this one. The Gimp bows his head, yes. Maynard disappears into Russell's old room. There must be a stereo in there because suddenly the Judds singing in harmony fills the air. Butch looks at the Gimp. The Gimp jiggles from underneath the mask as if it were the funniest moment in the history of comedy. From behind the door, we hear country music, struggling, and, whoa, this boy's got a bit of fight in him. We hear Maynard and Zed beat on Marcellus. You want to fight? You want to fight? Good, I like to fight. Butch pauses and listens to the voices, and then in a panic, hurriedly struggles to get free. The Gimp is laughing wildly. The ropes are too tight and Butch can't break free. The Gimp slaps his knee laughing in the back room, and we hear, That's it, boy, you're going fine, ooh, just like that, that's good. He's grunting faster. Stay still, goddammit. Zed, goddammit, get over here and hold him. Butch stops struggling and lifts up on his arm. Then, quite easily, the padded chair slides up and off as if it were never connected by a bolt. The Gimp sees this, and its eyes widen. Huh? The Gimp flails wildly, trying to get the leash off the hook. He tries to yell, but all that comes out are excited gurgles and grunts. Butch is out of his chair, quickly dispensing 3 boxer's punches to his face. The punches knock the Gimp out, making him fall to his knees, this hanging himself by the leash attached to the hook. Butch removes the ball gag and then silently makes his way through the red curtains. Butch sneaks to the door. On the counter is a big set of keys with a large Z connected to the ring. Grabbing them, he's about to go out when he stops and listens to the hillbilly psychopaths having their way with Marcellus. Butch decides for the life of him he can't leave anybody in a situation like that. So he begins rooting around the pawn shop for a weapon to bash those hillbillies' heads in with. He picks up a big, destructive-looking hammer and then discards it. Not destructive enough. He picks up a chainsaw, thinks about it for a moment, and then puts it back. Next, a large Louisville slugger he tries on for size. And then, he spots what he's been looking for. A samurai sword. In its hand-carved wood sheath from a nail on the wall, next to a neon Dad's old-fashioned root beer sign. Butch takes the sword off the wall, removing it from its sheath. It's a magnificent piece of steel. It seems to glisten in the low wattage light of the pawn shop. Butch touches his thumb to the blade to see if the sword is just for show. Not on your life. It's as sharp as it gets. This weapon seems made to order for the brothers Grimm downstairs, holding the sword pointed downwards. Takakura Ken style, he disappears through the red curtains to take care of business. Butch quietly sneaks down the stairs leading to the dungeon. Sodomy and the Judds can still be heard going string behind the closed door that leads to Russell's old room. Butch's hand comes into frame, pushing the door open. It swings open silently, revealing the rapists, who have switched positions. Zed is now bent over Marcellus, who is bent over a wooden horse. Maynard watches. Both have their backs to Butch. Maynard faces the camera grinning, while Butch comes up behind him with a sword. Miserable, violated, and looking like a rag doll, Marcellus, red ball still gagged in his mouth, opens his watery eyes to see Butch coming up behind Maynard. His eyes widen. "Hey, hillbilly!" Maynard turns and sees Butch holding the sword. Butch screams with one mighty swing and slashes Maynard across the front, moving past him, eyes and blade now locked on Zed. Maynard starts trembling, his front sliced open, in shock. Butch, while never taking his eyes off Zed, thrusts the sword behind him, skewering Maynard, and then extracts it, pointing the blade towards Zed. Maynard collapses. Zed disengages from Marcellus in a hurry, and his eyes go from the tip of Butch's sword to Marcellus's .45 automatic, which lies within reach. Butch's eyes follow Zed. "You want that gun, Zed? Pick it up." Zed's hand inches toward the weapon. Butch grips the sword tighter. Zed studies Butch. Butch looks hard at Zed, and then a voice says, "Step aside, Butch." Butch steps aside, revealing Marcellus standing behind him, holding Maynard's pump-action shotgun. Kaboom! Zed is blasted in the groin, and down he goes, screaming in agony. Marcellus, looking down at his whimpering rapist, ejects the used shotgun shell. Butch lowers the sword and hangs back. Not a word until, "You okay?" "Nah, man, I'm pretty fucking far from okay." A long pause. "What now?" "What now? Well, let me tell you what now. I'm gonna call a couple of pipe-hitting niggas who'll go to work on Holmes here with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch. You hear me talking, hillbilly boy? I ain't through with you by a damn sight. I'm gonna get medieval on your ass." "I mean, what now between me and you?" "Oh, that what now?" "Well, let me tell you what now between me and you. There is no me and you. Not no more. So we're cool. Yeah, man, we're cool. One thing I ask. Two things I ask. Don't tell nobody about this. This shit's between me and you. The soon-to-be living the rest of his short-ass life in agonizing pain Mr. Rapist here, it ain't nobody else's business. 2. Leave town, tonight, right now, and when you're gone, stay gone. You've lost your Los Angeles privileges. Deal?" "Deal." The two men shake hands and then hug one another. "Go on now, get your ass out of here." Butch leaves Russell's old room through the red curtains. Marcellus walks over to a phone and dials a number. Into the phone. "Hello, Mr. Wolf. It's Marcellus. Got a bit of a situation." Butch, still shaking in his boots, exits the pawn shop. He looks ahead and sees parked in front of the establishment Zed's big chrome chopper with a teardrop gas tank that has the name Grace on it. He climbs aboard, takes out the keys with a big Z on them, and starts up the huge hog. It rumbles to life, making sounds like a rocket fighting for orbit. Butch twists the accelerator handle and speeds off. We cut back and forth between Fabian, standing in front of a mirror, wearing a Frankie Says Relax t-shirt, singing along with music coming from a boombox. Butch drives down the street, humping a hot dog named Grace. He checks his father's watch. It says 10:30. The song in the motel room plays over this. Butch rides up on Grace to the motel. He hops off and runs inside the motel room while we stay outside with the bike. "Butch, I was so worried." "Honey, grab your radio and your purse and let's go." "But what about all our bags?" "Fuck the bags. We'll miss our train if we don't split now. Is everything well? Are we in danger? We're cool. In fact, we're super cool. But we gots to go. I'll wait for you outside. Butch runs out and hops back on the bike. Fabian exits the motel room with the boombox and a large purse. When she sees Butch on the chopper, she stops dead. Where did you get this motorcycle? He kick-starts it. It's a chopper, baby. Hop on. Fabian slowly approaches the two-wheeled demon. What happened to my Honda? Sorry, baby. I crashed the Honda. You're hurt? I might have broken my nose, but no biggie. Hop on. She doesn't move. Butch looks at her. Honey, we gotta hit the fucking road. Fabian starts to cry. Butch realizes that this is not the way to get her on the bike. He turns off the engine and reaches out, taking her hand. I'm sorry, baby love. You were gone so long, I started to think dreadful thoughts. I'm sorry I worried you, sweetie. Everything's fine. Hey, how was breakfast? It was good. Did you get blueberry pancakes? No, they didn't have blueberry pancakes. I had to get buttermilk. Are you sure you're okay? Baby love, from the moment I left you, this has been without a doubt the single weirdest day of my entire life. Climb on, and I'll tell you about it. Fabian does climb on. Butch starts her up. Butch, whose motorcycle is this? It's a chopper. Whose chopper is this? Zed's. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. And with that, the two lovebirds peel away on Grace as the song on the boombox rises. A title card. Jules, Vincent, Jimmy, and the Wolf. The title disappears. Over black, we can hear in the distance men talking. You ever read the Bible, Brett? Yes. There's a passage I got memorized. Seems appropriate for this situation. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. We're in the bathroom of the Hollywood apartment we were in earlier. In fact, we're there at exactly the same time, except this time we're in the bathtub with the fourth man. The fourth man is pacing around the small room, listening hard to what's being said on the other side of the door, tightly clutching his .357 Magnum. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherd the weak through the valley of darkness, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. Bang, bang, boom, pow, bam, 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 bam. The fourth man freaks out. He throws himself against the back wall, gun outstretched in front of him. A look of yellow fear on his face, ready to blow in half anybody fool enough to stick their head through that door. And then he listens to them talk. Friend of yours? Yeah. Marvin, Vincent, Marvin. Waiting for them isn't the smartest move. Bursting out the door and blowing them all away while they're fucking around is the way to go. The bathroom door bursts open and the fourth man charges out, silver magnum raised, firing 6 booming shots from his hand cannon. Die, 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 die! He screams until he's dry firing, and then a look of confusion crosses his face. Standing next to each other, unharmed, Jules and Vincent. Amazing as it seems, none of the fourth man's shots appear to have hit anybody. Jules and Vincent exchange looks like, are we hit? They're as confused as the shooter. After looking at each other, they bring their looks up to the fourth man. I don't understand. The fourth man is taken out of the scenario by the two men's bullets, who, unlike his, hit their marks. He drops dead. The two men lower their guns. Jules, obviously shaken, sits down in a chair. Vincent, after a moment of respect, shrugs it off, then heads towards Marvin in the corner. Why the fuck didn't you tell us about that guy in the bathroom? Slip your mind? Forgot he was in there with a goddamn hand cannon? We should be fucking dead right now. Did you see that gun he fired at us? It was bigger than him. It's a .357. We should be fucking dead. Yeah, we were lucky. Jules rises, moving toward Vincent. That shit wasn't luck. That shit was something else. Vincent prepares to leave. Yeah, maybe. That was divine intervention. You know what divine intervention is? Yeah, I think so. That means God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets. Yeah, man. That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets. I think we should be going now. Don't do that. Don't you fucking do that. Don't blow this shit off. What just happened was a fucking miracle. Chill the fuck out, Jules. This shit happens. Wrong. This shit doesn't just happen. Do you want to continue this theological discussion in the car or at the jailhouse with the cops? We should be fucking dead right now, my friend. We just witnessed a miracle. And I want you to acknowledge it. The Chevy Nova propels itself into traffic. Jules is behind the wheel, Vincent in the passenger seat, and Marvin in the back. Ever seen that show Cops? I was watching it once, and this cop was on it who was talking about this time he got into a gunfight with a guy in a hallway. He unloads on this guy, and he doesn't hit anything. And these guys were in a hallway. It's a freak, but it happens. If you want to play blind man, then go walk with a shepherd. But me, my eyes are wide fucking open. What the fuck does that mean? That's it for me. From here on in, you can consider my ass retired. Jesus Christ. Don't blaspheme. God damn it, Jules. I said don't do that. You're fucking freaking out. I'm telling Marcellus today I'm through. While you're at it, be sure to tell him why. Don't worry, I will. I bet you $10,000 he laughs his ass off. I don't give a damn if he does. Vincent turns to the back seat with the .45 casually in his grip. Marvin, what do you make of all this? I don't have an opinion. Come on, Marvin. Do you think God came down from heaven and stopped the bullets? Vincent's .45 goes bang. Marvin is hit in the upper chest below the throat. He gurgles blood and shakes. What the fuck's happening? I just accidentally shot Marvin in the throat. Why the fuck did you do that? I didn't mean to do it. I said it was an accident. I've seen a lot of crazy ass shit in my time. Chill out, man. It was an accident, okay? You hit a bump or something and the gun went off. The car didn't hit no motherfucking bump. Look, I didn't mean to shoot this son of a bitch. The gun just went off. Don't ask me how. Look at this mess. We're driving around in a city street in broad daylight. I know. I wasn't thinking about the spatter. Well, you better be thinking about it now, motherfucker. We gotta get this car off the road. Cops tend to notice shit like you're driving a car drenched in fucking blood. Can't we just take it to a friendly place? This is the valley, Vincent. Marcellus don't got no friendly places in the valley. Well, don't look at me. This is your town, Jules. Jules takes out a cellular phone and starts punching digits. Who you calling? A buddy of mine in Toluca Lake. Where's Toluca Lake? On the other side of the hill by Burbank Studios. If Jimmy's ass ain't home, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. I ain't got no other partners in 818. Into the phone. Jimmy, how you doing, man? It's Jules. Now listen up, man. Me and my homeboy in some serious shit. We're in a car. We gotta get off the road pronto. I need to use your garage for a couple of hours. Jules is bent over a sink, washing his bloody hands, while Vincent stands behind him. We gotta be real fucking delicate with this Jimmy situation. He's one remark away from kicking our asses out the door. If he kicks us out, what do? Well, we ain't leaving till we made a couple of phone calls, but I never wanted to reach that pitch. Jimmy's my friend, and you don't bust in your friend's house and start telling him what's what. Jules rises and dries his hands. Vincent takes his place at the sink. Just tell him not to be abusive. He kind of freaked out back there when he saw Marvin. "Put yourself in his position. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. He just woke up. He wasn't prepared for this shit. Don't forget who's doing who a favor." Vincent finishes and then dries his hands on a white towel. If the price of that favor is I gotta take shit, he can stick his favor straight up his ass. When Vincent is finished drying his hands, the towel is stained with red. "What the fuck did you just do to his towel?" "I was just drying my hands." "You're supposed to wash them first." "You watched me wash them." "I watched you get them wet." "I washed them. Blood's real hard to get off. Maybe if he had some lava, I could have done a better job." "I used the same soap you did when I dried my hands, and the towel didn't look like a fucking maxi pad. Look, fuck it, alright, who cares? But it's shit like this that's gonna bring this situation to a boil. If he were to come in here and see the towel like that, I'm telling you, Vincent, you best be cool. 'Cause if I gotta get into it with Jimmy on account of you, look, I ain't threatening you, I respect you and all. Just don't put me in that position." "Jules, you ask me nice like that, no problem. He's your friend, you handle him." 3 men are standing in Jimmy's kitchen, each with a mug of coffee. Jules, Vincent, and Jimmy Dimmick, a young man in his late 20s, dressed in a bathrobe. "God damn, Jimmy, this is some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with freeze-dried taster's choice. You spring this gourmet fucking shit on us? What flavor is this?" "Knock it off, Julie." "What?" "I'm not a cob of corn, so you can stop buttering me up. I don't need you to tell me how good my coffee is. I'm the one who buys it. I know how fucking good it is. When Bonnie goes shopping, she buys shit. I buy the gourmet expensive stuff, because when I drink it, I want to taste it. But what's on my mind at the moment is not the coffee in my kitchen. It's the dead nigger in my garage. Jimmy, I'm talking. Now let me ask you a question, Jules. When you drove in here, did you notice a sign out front that said dead nigger storage?" Jules starts to Jimmy him. "Answer the question. Did you see a sign out front of my house that said dead nigger storage?" No man, I didn't." "You know why you didn't see that sign?" "Why?" "'Cause storing dead niggers ain't my fucking business." Jules starts to Jimmy him. "I ain't through. Now don't you understand that if Bonnie comes home and finds a dead body in her house, I'm gonna get divorced. No marriage counselor, no trial separation, fucking divorced. And I don't want to get fucking divorced. The last time me and Bonnie talked about this shit was gonna be the last time me and Bonnie talked about this shit. Now I want to help you out, Julie, I really do. But I ain't gonna lose my wife doing it." "Jimmy, don't fucking Jimmy me, man. I can't be jimmied. There's nothing you can say that's gonna make me forget I love my wife. Now she's working the graveyard shift at the hospital. She's gonna be coming home in less than an hour and a half. Make your phone calls, talk to your people, and get the fuck out of my house. That's all we want. We don't want to fuck up your shit. We just want to call our people to bring us in. Then I suggest you do it. Phone's in my bedroom." Marcellus Wallace sits at his dining table in a big comfy robe, eating his large breakfast, while talking on the phone. "Well, say she comes home. What do you think she'll do?" "No fucking shit she'll freak. That ain't no kind of answer. You know her, I don't." "How bad? A lot or a little?" Jules paces around in Jimmy's bedroom on the phone. "You gotta appreciate what an explosive element this Bonnie situation is. If she comes home from a hard day's work, finds a bunch of gangsters doing a bunch of gangster shit in her kitchen, ain't no telling what she's apt to do." "I've grasped that, Jules. All I'm doing is contemplating the ifs." "I don't want to hear no motherfucking ifs. What I want to hear from your ass is, you ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker. Go back in there, chill them niggas out, and wait for the cavalry, which should be coming directly." "You ain't got no problems, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker. Go back in there, chill them niggas out, and wait for the wolf, who should be coming directly." "You sending the wolf?" "Feel better?" "Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say." The camera looks down through the bedroom doorway of a hotel suite into the main area. We see a crap game being played on a fancy crap table by gamblers in tuxedos and lucky ladies in fancy evening gowns. The camera pans to the right, revealing, sitting on a bed, phone in hand with his back to us, the tuxedo-clad Winston Wolfe, aka the Wolf. We also see the Wolf has a small notepad that he jots details in. Is she the hysterical type? When is she due? Give me the principals' names again. Jules. We see his book. The page has written on it, 1265 Riverside Drive, Toluca Lake. One body, no head. Bloody shot-up car. Jules, black. Vincent, Jimmy, Bonnie. He writes Vincent, Dean Martin, Jimmy, house, Bonnie, 9:30. Expect a call around 10:30. It's about 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10. He hangs up. We never see his face. We see a title card over black. 9 minutes and 37 seconds later. A silver Porsche whips the corner leading to Jimmy's home in hyperdrive. Easily doing 135 miles per hour, the Porsche stops on a dime in front of Jimmy's house. A ringed finger touches the doorbell. Ding dong. Jimmy opens the door. We see standing in the doorway the tuxedo-clad man. He looks down to his notebook and then up at Jimmy. You're Jimmy, right? This is your house. Yeah. He sticks his hand out. I'm Winston Wolfe. I solve problems. Good, 'cause we got one. So I heard. May I come in? Please do. In the dining room, Jules and Vincent stand up. You must be Jules, which would make you Vincent. Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy? 100%. Your wife, Bonnie, refers to his pad, comes home at 9:30 in the a.m., is that correct? Uh-huh. I was led to believe if she comes home and finds us here, she wouldn't appreciate it none too much. She won't at that. That gives us 40 minutes to get the fuck out of Dodge, which, if you do what I say when I say it, should be plenty. Now you've got a corpse in a car, minus a head, in a garage. Take me to it. The three men hang back as the Wolf examines the car. He studies the car in silence, opening the door, looking inside, and circling it. Jimmy? Yes? Do me a favor, will ya? Thought I smelled some coffee in there. Would you make me a cup? Sure, how would you like it? Lots of cream, lots of sugar. Jimmy exits. The Wolf continues his examination. About the car. Is there anything I need to know? Does it stall? Does it make a lot of noise? Does it smoke? Is there gas in it? Anything? Aside from how it looks, the car's cool. Positive? Don't get me out on the road and I find the brake lights don't work. Hey man, as far as I know, this motherfucker's tip-top. Good enough. Let's get back to the kitchen. Jimmy hands the Wolf a cup of coffee. He takes a sip and then, pacing as he thinks, lays out for three men the plan of action. Okay, first thing you two, meaning Jules and Vincent, take the body, stick it in the trunk. Now Jimmy, this looks to be a pretty domesticated house. That would lead me to believe that in the garage or under the sink, you've got a bunch of cleaners and shit like that, am I correct? Yeah, exactly, under the sink. Good. What I need you two fellas to do is take those cleaning products and clean the inside of the car. And I'm talking fast, fast, fast. You need to go in the back seat, scoop up all those little pieces of brain and skull. Get it out of there. Wipe down the upholstery. Now, when it comes to the upholstery, I don't need it to be spick and span. You don't need to eat off it. Just give it a good once-over. And what you need to really take care of are the really messy parts. The pools of blood that have collected. You gotta soak that shit up. But the windows are a different story. Them you really clean. You get the Windex and do a good job. Now, Jimmy, we need to raid your linen closet. I need blankets, I need comforters, I need quilts, I need bedspreads. The thicker the better, and the darker the better. No whites. I can't use them. We need to camouflage the interior of the car. We're going to line the front seat and the back seat of the floorboards with quilts and blankets. If a cop stops us and starts sticking his big snout in the car, the subterfuge won't last. But at a glance, the car will appear to be normal. Jimmy, lead the way, boys. Get to work. The wolf and Jimmy turn, heading for the bedroom, leaving Vincent and Jules standing in the kitchen, calling after him. "A please would be nice." The wolf stops and turns around. "Come again?" "I said a please would be nice." The wolf takes a step towards him. "Let's set it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do. And if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better fucking do it and do it quick. I'm here to help, but if my help's not appreciated, lots of luck, gentlemen. It ain't that way, Mr. Wolf. Your help is definitely appreciated. I don't mean any disrespect, I just don't like people barking orders at me. If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast, and I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So pretty please, with sugar on top, clean the fucking car." Jimmy's gathering all the bedspreads, quilts, and linens he has. The wolf is on the phone. It's a 1974 Chevy Nova. White. Nothing except for the mess inside. About 20 minutes. Nobody who will be missed. You're a good man, Joe. See you soon. He looks at Jimmy. How we coming, Jimmy? Jimmy comes over with a handful of linen. Mr. Wolf, you gotta understand something. Winston. Jimmy. Please, Winston. You gotta understand something, Winston. I want to help you guys out and all, but that's my best linen. It was a wedding present from my Uncle Conrad and Aunt Jenny, and they ain't with us anymore. Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Were your Uncle Conrad and Aunt Jenny millionaires? No? Well, your Uncle Marcellus is. And I'm positive if Uncle Conrad and Aunt Jenny were millionaires, they would have furnished you with a whole bedroom set, which your Uncle Marcellus is more than happy to do. Takes out a roll of bills. I like oak myself. That's what's in my bedroom. How about you, Jimmy? You an oak man? Oak is nice. Both Jules and Vincent are inside the car cleaning it up. Vincent is in the front seat washing windows, while Jules is in the back seat, picking up little pieces of skull and gobs of brain. Both are twice as bloody as they were before. I will never forgive your ass for this shit. This is some fucked up repugnant shit. Did you ever hear the philosophy that once a man admits he's wrong, he's immediately forgiven for all wrongdoings? Man, get out of my face with that shit. The motherfucker that said that never had to pick up itty-bitty pieces of skull with his fingers on account of your dumb ass. I got a threshold, Jules. I got a threshold for abuse that I'll take, and you're crossing it. I'm a race car, and you got me in the red. Red line 7,000. That's where you are. Just know it's fucking dangerous to be driving a race car when it's in the red. It could blow. You're getting ready to blow? I'm a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker. Every time my finger touches a brain, I'm Superfly TNT. I'm the guns of Navarone. I'm what Jimmy Walker used to talk about. In fact, what the fuck am I doing in the back? You're the motherfucker that should be on brain detail. We're trading. I'm washing windows, and you're picking up this nigger's skull. The interior of the car has been cleaned and lined with bedspreads and quilts. Believe it or not, what looked like a portable slaughterhouse can actually pass for a nondescript vehicle. The wolf circles the car, examining it. Jules and Vincent stand aside. Their clothes are literally a bloody mess, but they do have a sense of pride in what a good job they've done. Fine job, gentlemen. We may get out of this yet. I can't believe that's the same car. Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet. Phase 1 is complete. Clean the car, which moves us right along to Phase 2. Clean you two. Jules and Vincent stand side by side in their black suits, covered in blood. In Jimmy's backyard, Jimmy holds a plastic hefty trash bag, while the wolf holds a garden hose with one of those gun nozzles attached. Strip. All the way to your bare ass. As they follow directions, the wolf enjoys a smoke. Quickly, gentlemen, we got about 15 minutes before Jimmy's better half comes pulling into the driveway. This morning air is some chilly shit. Are you sure this is absolutely necessary? You know what you two look like? What? Like a couple of guys who just blew off somebody's head. Yes, stripping off those bloody rags is absolutely necessary. Toss the clothes in Jim's garbage bag. Now, Jimmy, don't do nothing stupid like putting that out in front of your house for Elmo the garbage man to take away. Don't worry, we're taking it with us. Jim, the soap. He hands the now naked men a bar of soap. Okay, gentlemen. You've both been to county before, I'm sure. Here it comes. He hits the trigger and water shoots out, smacking both men. God damn, that water's fucking cold. Better you than me, gentlemen. The two men, trembling, scrub themselves. Don't be afraid of the soap. Spread it around. The wolf stops the hose, tosses it on the ground. Towel them off. Jimmy tosses them each a towel, which they rub furiously across their bodies. You're dry enough? Give them their clothes. In their t-shirts and swim trunks, they look a million miles away from the black-suited badasses we first met. Perfect. Couldn't have planned this better. You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy? Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks. The wolf and Jimmy laugh. Ha! They're your clothes, motherfucker. I guess you just gotta know how to wear 'em. Yeah, but our asses ain't the expert on wearing dorky shit that yours is. Come on, gentlemen. We're laughing and joking your way into prison. Don't make me beg. The garbage bag is tossed in the car trunk on top of Marvin. The wolf slams it closed. Gentlemen, let's get our rules of the road straight. We're going to a place called Monster Joe's Truck and Tow. Monster Joe and his daughter Raquel are sympathetic to our dilemma. The place is in North Hollywood. So a few twists and turns aside, we'll be going up Hollywood Way. Now I'll drive the tainted car. Jules, you ride with me. Vincent, you follow in my Porsche. Now if we cross the path of any John Q laws, nobody does a fucking thing till I do something. What did I say? Don't do shit unless you do it first. Spoken like a true prodigy. How about you, Lash LaRue? Can you keep your spurs from jingling and jangling? I'm cool, Mr. Wolf. My gun just went off. I don't know how. Fair enough. He throws Vince his car keys. I drive real fucking fast, so keep up. If I get my car back any different than I gave it, Monster Joe's going to be disposing of 2 bodies. Jules and Vincent wait by Winston's Porsche. We cool? Like it never happened. Jules and Vincent bump fists. Boys, this is Raquel. Someday, all this will be hers. Hi, you know if they ever do a I Spy the Motion Picture, you guys, I'd be great. What's with the outfits? You guys going to a volleyball game? Winston laughs, and the boys groan. I'm taking my lady out to breakfast. Maybe I can drop you two off. Where do you live? Redondo Beach. Inglewood. Winston grabs Jules' wrists and pantomimes like he's in the dead zone trance. In your future, I see a cab ride. Dropping the act. Sorry, guys. Move out of the sticks. Say goodbye to Raquel. Goodbye, Raquel. I'll see you two around. You stay out of trouble, you crazy kids. Winston turns to leave. Mr. Wolf. He turns around. It was a pleasure watching you work. The wolf smiles. Call me Winston. He turns and banters with Raquel as they get in the Porsche. You hear that, young lady? Respect. You could learn a lot from those 2 fine specimens. Respect for one's elders shows character. I have character. Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. Oh, you're so funny. You're funny. The Porsche shoots off down the road. The 2 men left alone look at each other. Want to share a cab? You know, I could go for some breakfast. You want to have breakfast with me? Sure. Jules and Vincent sit at a booth. In front of Vincent is a big stack of pancakes and sausages, which he eats with gusto. Jules, on the other hand, just has a cup of coffee and a muffin. He seems far away in thought. The waitress pours a refill for both men. "Thanks a bunch," to Jules, who is nursing his coffee. "You want a sausage?" "No, I don't eat pork." "Are you Jewish?" "I ain't Jewish, man. I just don't dig on swine." "Why not?" "They're filthy animals. I don't eat filthy animals." "Sausage tastes good. Pork chops taste good. A sewer rat may taste like pumpkin pie. I'll never know. Even if I did, I wouldn't eat a filthy motherfucker." "Pigs sleep and root in shit. That's a filthy animal." "I don't want to eat nothing that ain't got enough sense to disregard its own feces." "How about dogs? Dogs eat their own feces." "I don't eat dogs either." "Yes, but do you consider a dog to be a filthy animal?" "I wouldn't go so far as to call a dog filthy, but they're definitely dirty. But a dog's got personality, and personality goes a long way." So by that rationale, if a pig had a better personality, he would cease to be a filthy animal? We'd have to be talking about one motherfucking charming pig. It'd have to be the Cary Grant of pigs. The two men laugh. "Good for you. Lighten up a little. You've been sitting there all quiet." "I just been sitting here thinking." "About what?" "The miracle we witnessed." "The miracle you witnessed. I witnessed a freak occurrence." "Do you know what a miracle is?" "An act of God." "What's an act of God?" "I guess it's when God makes the impossible possible. And I'm sorry, Jules, but I don't think what happened this morning qualifies." "Don't you see, Vince? That shit don't matter. You're judging this thing the wrong way. It's not about what. It could be God stopped the bullets. He changed Coke into Pepsi. He found my fucking car keys. You don't judge shit like this based on merit. Whether or not what we experienced was an according to Hoyle miracle is insignificant. What is significant is I felt God's touch. God got involved." "But why?" "That's what's fucking with me. I don't know why, but I can't go back to sleep." "So you're serious? You're really gonna quit?" "The life? Most definitely." Vincent takes a bite of food, and Jules takes a sip of coffee. In the background, we see a patron call the waitress. "Garçon, coffee." We recognize the patron to be Pumpkin from the first scene of Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. So if you're quitting the life, what'll you do? That's what I've been sitting here contemplating. First, I'm going to deliver this case to Marcellus, and then basically, I'm going to walk the earth. What do you mean, walk the earth? You know, like Caine in Kung Fu. Just walk from town to town, meet people, get in adventures. How long do you intend to walk the earth? Until God puts me where he wants me to be. What if he never does? If it takes forever, I'll wait forever. So you've decided to be a bum. I'll just be Jules, Vincent. No more, no less. No, Jules, you're going to be like those pieces of shit out there who beg for change. They walk around like a bunch of fucking zombies. They sleep in garbage bins and they eat what I throw away. Dogs piss on them. They got a word for them. They're called bums. And without a job, residence, or legal tender, that's what you're going to be, a fucking bum. Look, my friend, this is just where me and you differ. What happened was peculiar, no doubt about it, but it wasn't water into wine. All shapes and sizes, Vince. Stop fucking talking like that. If you find my answers frightening, Vincent, you should cease asking scary questions. I gotta take a shit. To be continued. Vincent exits for the restroom. Jules, alone, takes a mouthful of muffin, and then Pumpkin and Honey Bunny rise with guns raised. Everybody be cool. This is a robbery. Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every one of you motherfuckers. Got that? Jules looks up, not believing what he's seeing. Under the table, Jules' hand goes to his .45 automatic. He pulls it out and cocks it. Customers, stay seated. Waitress is on the floor. Now means fucking now. Do it or die. Do it or fucking die. Like lightning, Pumpkin moves over to the kitchen, while Honey Bunny screams out threats to the patrons, keeping them terrified. You Mexicans in the kitchen, get out of here. Hasta luego. 3 cooks and 2 busboys come out of the kitchen. On the floor. I'll cook your ass. Comprende? They comprende. The portly manager speaks up. I'm the manager here. There's no problem. No problem at all. Pumpkin heads his way. You gonna give me a problem? He reaches him and sticks the barrel of his gun hard in the manager's neck. What? You said you're gonna give me a problem? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna give you any problem. I don't know, honey bun. He looks like the hero type to me. Don't take any chances. Execute him! The patrons scream. Jules watches all this silently, his hand tightly gripping the .45 automatic under the table. Please don't. I'm not a hero. I'm just a coffee shop manager. Take anything you want. Tell everyone to cooperate, and it'll all be over. Everybody just be calm and cooperate with them, and this will all be over soon. Well done. Now get your fucking ass on the ground. Vincent, on the toilet, oblivious to the pandemonium outside, reads his Modesty Blaze book. Cash register drawer opens. Pumpkin stuffs the money in from the till to his pocket, then walks from behind the counter with the trash bag in his hand. Okay, people, I'm gonna go around and collect your wallets. Don't talk, just toss them in the bag. We clear? Pumpkin goes around collecting wallets. Jules sits with his .45, ready to spit under the table. Pumpkin sees Jules sitting in his booth, holding his wallet, with his briefcase next to him. Pumpkin crosses to him, his tone more respectful, his manner more on guard. In the bag. Jules drops his wallet in the bag, using his gun as a pointer. Pumpkin points to the briefcase. What's in that? My boss's dirty laundry. Your boss makes you do his laundry? When he wants it clean? Sounds like a shit job. Funny. I've been thinking the same thing. Open it up. Jules' free hand lays palm flat on the briefcase. Afraid I can't do that. Pumpkin is definitely surprised by his answer. He aims the gun right in the middle of Jules' face and pulls back the hammer. I didn't hear you. Yes, you did. This exchange has been kind of quiet. Not everybody heard it, but Honey Bunny senses something is wrong. What's going on? Looks like we got a vigilante in our midst. Shoot him in the face! I don't mean to shatter your ego, but this ain't the first time I've had a gun pointed at me. You don't open up that case, it's going to be the last. The manager. Quit causing problems! You'll get us all killed! Give him what you got and get him out of here! Keep your fucking mouth closed, fat man. This ain't any of your goddamn business. I'm counting to 3, and if your hand ain't off that case, I'm gonna unload right in your fucking face, clear? 1, 2, 3. You win. Jules raises his hand off the briefcase. It's all yours, Ringo. Open it. Jules flips the locks and opens the case, revealing it to Pumpkin, but not to us. The same light shines from the case. Pumpkin's expression goes to amazement. Honey Bunny across the room can't see the shit. What is it? What is it? Is that what I think it is? Jules nods his head. Yes. It's beautiful. Jules nods his head. Yes. God damn it, what is it? Jules slams the case closed and then sits back as if offering the case to Pumpkin. Pumpkin, one big smile, bends over to pick up the case. Like a rattlesnake, Jules' free hand grabs the wrist of Pumpkin's gun hand, slamming it on the table. His other hand comes from under the table and sticks the barrel of his .45 under Pumpkin's chin. Honey Bunny freaks out, waving her gun in Jules' direction. Let him go! Let him go! I'll blow your fucking head off! I'll kill you! I'll kill you! You're gonna die! You're gonna fucking die, bud! To Pumpkin. Tell that bitch to be cool. Say, bitch, be cool. Chill out, honey. Let him go! Tell her it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Promise her. I promise. Tell her to chill. Just chill out. What's her name? Yolanda. Whenever Jules talks to Yolanda, he never looks at her, only Pumpkin. So, we cool, Yolanda? We ain't gonna do anything stupid, are we? She's now crying. Don't you hurt him. Nobody is gonna hurt anybody. We're gonna be like three Fonzies. And what is Fonzie like? No answer. Come on, Yolanda. What's Fonzie like? Through tears, unsure. He's cool. Correctamundo. And that's what we're gonna be. We're gonna be cool. Now to Pumpkin. Now, Ringo, I'm gonna count to 3, and I want you to let go of your gun and lay your palms flat on the table. But when you do it, be cool. You ready? Pumpkin looks at him. 1, 2, 3. Pumpkin lets go of his gun and places both hands on the table. Yolanda can't stand it anymore. Okay, now let him go! Yolanda, I thought you were gonna be cool. When you yell at me, it makes me nervous. When I get nervous, I get scared. And when motherfuckers get scared, that's when motherfuckers get accidentally shot. Yolanda, more conversational. Just know, you hurt him, you die. That seems to be the situation. Now I don't want that, and you don't want that, and Ringo here don't want that. So let's see what we can do. Now this is the situation. Normally, both your asses would be dead as fucking fried chicken. But you happen to pull this shit when I'm in a transitional period. I don't want to kill you. I want to help you. But I'm afraid I can't give you this case. It doesn't belong to me. Besides, I went through too much shit this morning on account of this case to just hand it over to your ass. What the fuck is going on here? Vincent. Yolanda whips her gun toward the stranger. Vincent by the bathroom has his gun out, aimed at Yolanda. It's cool, Vincent. It's cool. Don't do a goddamn thing. Yolanda, it's cool, baby. Nothing's changed. We're still just talking. Tell her we're still cool. It's cool, honey bunny. We're still cool. Gun raised. What the hell's going on, Jules? Nothing I can't handle. I want you to just hang back and don't do shit unless it's absolutely necessary. Check. Yolanda, how we doing, baby? I gotta pee. I want to go home. Just hang in there, baby. You're doing great. Ringo's proud of you, and so am I. It's almost over. Now I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet. Which one is it? It's the one that says bad motherfucker on it. Pumpkin looks in the bag, and sure enough, there's a wallet with bad motherfucker embroidered on it. That's my bad motherfucker. Now open it up and take out the cash. How much is there? About $1,500. Put it in your pocket. It's yours. Now with the rest of them wallets in the register, that makes this a pretty successful little score. Jules, if you're gonna give this Nimrod $1,500, I'm gonna shoot him on general principle. You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Now hang back and shut the fuck up. Besides, I ain't gonna give it to him. I'm buying something for my money. You wanna know what I'm buying, Ringo? What? Your life. I'm giving you that money so I don't have to kill your ass. You read the Bible? Not regularly. There's a passage I got memorized. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper, and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger, those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know that I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you. I've been saying that shit for years, and if you ever heard it, it meant your ass. I really never questioned what it meant. I thought it was just a cold-blooded thing to say to a motherfucker before you popped a cap in his ass. But I saw some shit this morning that made me think twice. And now I'm thinking, it could mean that you're the evil man, and I'm the righteous man, and Mr. 45 here is the shepherd, protecting my righteous ass in the valley of darkness. Or it could be, you're the righteous man, and I'm the shepherd, and it's the world that's evil and selfish. I'd like that. But this shit ain't the truth. The truth is you're the weak, and I'm the tyranny of evil men. But I'm trying. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd. Jules lowers his gun, laying it on the table. Pumpkin looks at him, to the money in his hand, and then to Yolanda. She looks back. Grabbing the trash bag full of wallets, the two run out the door. Jules, who has never risen from his seat the whole time, takes a sip of coffee. To himself, it's cold. He pushes it aside. Vincent appears next to Jules. I think we ought to leave now. That's probably a good idea. Vincent throws some money on the table, and Jules grabs the briefcase. Then, to the amazement of the patrons, the waitresses, the cooks, the busboys, and the manager, these two badass dudes wearing UC Santa Cruz and I'm with Stupid t-shirts, swim trunks, thongs, and packing a .45 automatic, walk out of the coffee shop together without saying a word. We fade out. The end. Hey, if you made it all the way to the end, congratulations, and definitely leave a comment below that says so. Also, over 95% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. If you want to know when new videos come out, YouTube seems pretty terrible at showing people that I've released a new video, so subscribe and hit the bell to always be notified when there's a new movie reading. Alright guys, I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.